Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 90 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And they keep telling me I'm Sarah, but I don't believe them.
Well, it's true. Just saying. All right. This episode is sponsored by Brittany Lindsay. Thanks, you.
Brittany.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Brittany, you're getting a super special episode today because today is my birthday.
Happy birthday, Tiff!
Tiff the Griff.
Tiff,
Tiff,
Tiff, the Griff.
That's just so perfect.
I know. Okay, today we will be discussing Chapter 19 of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the Hungarian Horntail. So make sure that you have read the chapter. Oh, man! I already messed up because I forgot my list of stuff.
My God.
No, our listeners put together a lovely
Oh, yes, they did.
what do you call that? I don't know, a list? A collection.
Gathering.
So let me go to the very first one, you guys. Very first one. We're going to frolic into the details today. So before we begin, I'm sure Meg has some awesome Weekly Prophet news because I've been drooling over the pictures today.
Yeah.
So Meg, let's go.
Drooling.
Two things. First of all, today is Brittany's first Discord episode, and she's actually in the Discord channel right now.
No
so
way.
That's awesome.
Oh, hey!
And second, the actual Weekly Prophet, I wanted to talk about the new Hagrid ride coming to Universal. Because this week, over the past couple days, and I think all the way till Friday, they're releasing pictures of creatures that we're going to get to see on the ride. So, Mondays was Fluffy. And, okay, so I need to give a little...
You gonna do a soapbox?
Well, sort of. So Universal is notorious for having rides where you just look at screens the whole time. And it is my one big beef with Universal. It drives me nuts. Like, they are better than that. They have awesome rides with, like, real animatronics, and they're awesome. But for whatever reason, recently, they've been getting into this rut where they just, like, make a ride track, and you follow the ride, like, with a screen in front of you. So it's cheaper for them, right? But it's still a cool experience. Except when you go on every single ride, and they're all the same, with different screens. So... well, I've loved with the Harry Potter rides how they've kind of incorporated both elements of real and screen. It's like a nice breakup from what they have been doing in the other parts of the park, such as like Transformers and, I don't know,
King
Despicable
Kong.
Me, Jimmy Fallon, King Kong, like Fast and Furious. All of those rides are screen rides. But anyway, in the Harry Potter section, they've been doing a really awesome job of breaking it up and, like, putting real stuff with screens. Well, for this new ride, Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure, longest name ever, they actually have real animatronics for the creatures so far. So they showed us the first look at Fluffy, who looks BA. Like, I read an article online that he weighs 8,000 pounds. Which is, like, that's gotta be an intense animatronic. For any of my Disney fans out there, I'm thinking, like, Ursula level in the Little Mermaid ride, which is, like, the coolest animatronic I've ever seen. Like, all of her tentacles move and everything. Like, she's super awesome. Looks like she's underwater and everything. Like, that's the sort of level of animatronic I'm hoping and expecting for with Fluffy. Mm-hmm. Second, we see the Ford Anglia that is being driven by Cornish pixies, which just makes me smile. It's awesome. And then third, today they've released, we're recording this on Wednesday, so I think we're going to get 2 more Thursday and Friday, but as of today, the newest one is Devil's Snare.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool.
It is. And I've also seen pictures, so like I'm a theme park nut, you guys know that, so like I've been following articles and like flyovers, people fly drones over it and stuff to like see what's going on, and there has been a unicorn spotted, so I'm guessing that that's going to be one that's shown to us either tomorrow or Friday.
It's also in the commercial though.
A
The unicorn's at the very end of the commercial. Have you guys seen it?
No.
No.
It's been airing a ton.
That's cool. No, I haven't seen it on TV yet.
Me
It's
either.
it's a very cool commercial, and the unicorn's at the very, very end, and it's like back in the mist.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's also potential rumors of a brand new beast that we've never seen in the movies before.
Interesting.
What if
Yeah.
you get to the end, it's like the world's largest niffler?
But we've seen that in the movie.
Not
A
the
niffler.
world's largest.
Not the world's largest.
True.
I'm excited.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
But then I also wanted to tell everybody that me, Katie, and Tiffany, maybe Sarah, she claims no still, but I'm still pushing for it. We're going to go and ride this new ride in August and hopefully host a meetup for you guys. So anybody who wants to come, if you're in the Florida area, or you are looking for an excuse to go down to Orlando for a vacation, August 8th through the 10th, the three of us will be there.
True
So.
is true.
Yep.
Plus, a bonus friend.
Yeah.
Don't call it a comeback. Mr. Ezra Kirk is also going to be joining us down there.
Yeah.
He's going to be my travel buddy for sure.
He'll hold the camera for us while we're doing our meetup and record some vlog footage.
You say it, so it must be true.
Oh, he's booked and paid, ma'am.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
shocked.
Okay, let's do this, Katie.
I'm looking into your eyes, but not really, because I'm looking at you through a computer. And I have to look at the camera part, which is not you at all.
It's the thought that counts. All right, it's time for the recap.
I like the grunge level with that one.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
felt that one in my soul.
This one's short. I couldn't think of the word. Short and sweet. So, last time, Ron may not have Harry's back, but at least Herm does. And even still, Harry has some of the worst times he's had at Hogwarts. And people thought he was the heir of Slytherin. I mean, you know, snatching up Muggleborns. Unfortunately...
Makes me think of that video of that guy snatching your... What is it? You know what I'm saying.
Oh,
kids, hide
I know
your
what you're
wife.
talking
Hide your
about.
kids, hide your wife.
I thought you were going to keep going. Okay. Unfortunately, we meet Rita Skeeter during the champion gathering, the weighing of the wands, and Harry finally gets a response from Sirius.
Is it serious?
Sirius says,
Sirius.
hide your kids, hide your wife. Because
Meet me in the common room.
that Slytherin heir is snatching all y'all up there.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
You made it work.
I did, yeah.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
Okay.
I feel like one of these days when I go to do my summary, I'm just going to be like, some stuff happened to Harry, and then that's the end of the chapter. I really want to do that one day.
That should be
When-
like the
when would that
last
be a lie?
summary
That
ever.
would always be true.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it for every chapter. Harry went through some stuff. He came out alive. There's really probably one chapter that it didn't happen. But then he ended up being okay. So, it's been about 2 weeks, and things are even worse for Mr. Harry Potter. A Rita Skeeter article all about him has come out that people, aka Slytherins, have been making fun of him for. The task was just days away, and he was terrified. And Ron and him were still not talking. Sad tweet. Hermione takes her invisible friend to Hogsmeade, where said person is spotted in the Three Broomsticks by Mad-Eye Moody. That almost sounds like I'm giving you a Gossip Girl. And he's given a message from Hagrid. So Harry meets Hagrid later on, whilst under his cloak, and they go see what the first task will be all about, along with Madame Maxime. Now overwhelmed, he goes back to have a serious, fiery conversation, and then has words with Ron and goes to bed fuming.
Oh, boy.
Poor Harry.
XOXO. Haraz.
Oh, God. Do you know what's so funny? The amount of people that wish me that as like a happy birthday. And my cousin always wishes me a happy birthday, saying happy birthday, Harris, and then makes fun of my old screen name, which was Ringlets411, spelled incorrectly, because I asked someone and they spelled it incorrectly.
Oh, that's
Just makes you think of that.
expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
I
It was spelled with
love
a
old
W.
screen names. They're the best. Mine was Rupert's Girl 77, because Rupert Grint for the win.
Oh my God.
Mine-
I had a friend who, her Hers was above average, but she got mad at me and we got into a fight because I told her it looked like a beverage.
A beverage?
These are really important things
Wait, I have
to
a good one.
discuss.
Ooh, what was your... Oh,
Skellington Snog session.
yeah, that was Katie's.
Why?
Because she was, like, in love with Jack Skellington.
Well, I know that, but why?
I don't know.
Cheer Tiffy Ray 06.
You want to know what my very first one was? And I was quickly told to change it within minutes.
Sexy something.
Because I was, like, young. It was Red Hot Hottie. My dad's like, that's not happening. Okay.
What is wrong with you?
Oh, no. I was literally, like, 12.
Oh my
Why?
I don't know.
You're,
Oh, someone's calling me.
would you like
And
to
I don't
start
know
the
where my
chat?
phone is.
Yeah, it's your turn, Tiff. Let's go. It's your
Everybody's
fault. You're
talking
taking
about
forever.
aim. I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't hear you. So, Harry is pumped about the idea of talking to Sirius face to face, and all that conversation, it could just sustain him over the next fortnight. And that was the only bright spot he had, which I feel so bad about. I mean, I talked about it a lot the last episode. It's just like him being so lonely in the last chapters, so incredibly sad.
Yeah.
The shock of being the school champion had worn off, and so now fear was setting in because now he's getting over the fact that, okay, I was chosen 4th champion. Yeah, that's crazy, but I have to actually do stuff.
Yeah.
He had no idea what he would be facing, and the first task was barreling nearer and nearer and, quote, crouching ahead of him like some horrific monster. And I said, hello, you're a seer. That's a dragon.
I thought the same thing. Tiff, what are you
Did
doing
you
to
really?
me? Yeah.
You guys, it's so true.
I know.
Harry had never had nerves like these, even when there was like a really important Quidditch match. He always felt like his whole life would like lead up and end with this first test. That's how nervous he was. Probably because just the unexpected, just the idea of the unexpected.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not knowing, like, what I'm going to walk into.
Like,
Yeah.
especially in the world of magic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It could be anything. Literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead,
too, they give them clues for the other one, so why wouldn't they give them a clue for this one?
Because I think this one was like, what are you going to do in this situation without any kind of prep? Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, like that was the task. Not knowing. Almost, you know?
not knowing, and I mean, the egg, yeah, but like just thinking on your feet,
Mm-hmm.
which clearly
But,
none
like,
of
they
them did.
also... They even said later on, he's like, oh, that's part of the whole game is, like, the cheating, basically.
Yeah, which is annoying, but they still have to set it up for it to not be like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say to that. Harry didn't know how talking with Sirius would make him feel any better about having to perform unknown dangerous magic in front of the entire school, but he tells him that he would be beside the common room fire at that time that Sirius suggested. So Hermione and Harry are waiting for the stragglers to leave the common room, and if worse came to worse, they would plan on dropping a bag of dung bombs, and they really didn't want to do that because they knew that that would make Filch super mad. Why are you laughing?
Just makes me giggle.
Okay.
Speaking of Filch, it's his birthday today, too.
It is.
I know.
Well, not Filch,
And you know,
but
The actor.
right.
David
Bradley?
Bradley.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday to him.
Oh, you sound so thrilled.
Just saying. Happy birthday.
Tiffany is just saying that it's more important that it's her birthday. That's all.
Correct.
It's my sorority's founding day.
Good day for a sorority founding, I would say. It's the nice weather for it. No one. Okay. Here we go. So, if you look up dung bombs, it's a magical stink bomb that gives off a putrid odor. It says they were invented in the 1800s by Alberic Grunion. When handled, dung bombs leave a person's hands dirty.
Ew.
Just so you know. Probably with poop. And that's from the wiki. life for Harry had gotten worse. Rita had written and published her piece about the Triwizard Tournament, and it was basically a colorful report on Harry. Much of the front page of the article was a picture of him, and the article continued on pages 2, 6, and 7.
My bad.
She paused
And
and
basically,
waited.
I know.
it was just like all about Harry, which like that is not okay. And I know that it's Rita Skeeter or whatever, but like those poor other champions.
I know. She's such a scumbag.
Whoa!
She is.
She is.
So the article about Harry and basically just Harry and not the other champions had been out for about 10 days. And Harry still felt sick to his stomach when he thought about it. Rita had reported a lot of things that Harry definitely couldn't remember saying. So I wanted to read a little bit from the article. I suppose I get my strength from my parents. I know they'd be very proud of me if they could see me now. Yes, sometimes at night I still cry about them. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I know nothing will hurt me during the tournament because they're watching over me. And then it continues to say, Harry has at last found love at Hogwarts. His close friend, Colin Creevey, says that Harry is rarely seen outside the company of one Hermione Granger, a stunningly pretty muggle girl who, like Harry, is one of the top students in the school. So basically all of his ers had been turned into like all these crazy sentences that Harry literally would never say. And the Slytherins loved to quote him in the article as they would pass him by. And so they would say, like, want a hanky Potter in case you start crying in Transfiguration? First of all, that is a low blow and should not have been said. Because what if Harry really said those things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't know that that was
I apologize
completely fabricated.
for all Slytherins.
For Slytherin kind.
Yeah. And then it says, since when have you been one of the top students in the school, Potter? Or is this school you and Longbottom have set up together? That's not funny.
It's so sad.
I'm sorry I laughed. But it was kind of funny. Okay.
Oh my god.
Neville just hadn't come into his own yet, okay?
Well, true. Okay. So then one day, Harry finally had enough of it, and he snapped back after someone had said his name. And he was like, yeah, I'm just going to go have a cry about my dead mom. But he was surprised because it was Cho who was trying to get his attention.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So Harry had dropped a quill. What are you laughing at?
Or should
It
I
just
say,
is like,
Acho?
oh, that's not funny.
And she
No,
laughed.
it's like he's getting so mad, and he turns around. He's like, "Oh, it's the girl I fancy." Like, oh shoot, you know,
Yeah. But I
mucked
like,
it up this time.
because she's like, hey, Harry. Yeah, that's right. Harry found himself shouting as he wheeled around on the corridor, having just about enough. I've just been crying my eyes over my dead mom, and I'm just off to do a bit more. And she's like, no, it was just you dropped your quill. He goes, oh, right. Sorry. Like, jeez.
I'm sure
But honestly,
that she
I would
gets
be
it.
super snippy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She then wishes him good luck on Tuesday for the task. So,
A kiss for good luck, maybe.
thanks, friends. The color was rising up in Harry's face as he took the quill back, and he just felt extremely stupid.
Well,
Also, because of this article, Hermione had been experiencing a bit of her own unpleasantness too, and hers is kind of worse. But she was taking it a little bit more calmly than Harry was because she wasn't yelling at people. And Harry, it says that he admires her for the way that she had been handling this situation. So lovely Miss Pansy Parkinson says, stunningly pretty, her. And I say, girl, you're mean. You're no looker.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Actually,
That girl who plays
I don't
her
know.
is really pretty.
I was gonna say the
Listen.
same thing.
Listen, she is really pretty.
Listen, Linda. Listen.
Listen.
Linda.
But she also has some guts because she says this face to face with Hermione.
She's ambitious.
I would, I don't know. I don't think I could be as calm as Hermione. I think I'd lose my mind.
I think this would fall under the shrewd characteristic that Slytherins get pegged with.
Whatever.
You guys are just not being the nicest right now.
Is she ever
Don't
really
group
gonna-
me in this.
And I didn't mean you specifically. I meant your people. Your
Yeah, Pansy
Slytherins.
is
Your,
like never nice.
your fellow snakes. All right. So Pansy Parkinson says that Rita must have been judging Hermione against a chipmunk. That is not nice.
Chipmunks are cute.
Chipmunks are adorable.
They are
Yeah,
adorable.
but they're also rodents, so...
So, we had pet rats. They were the bomb.
Hermione just tells Harry to ignore all of the people who were being rude to him, which is pretty much the entire school except for the Gryffindors. Well, most of the Gryffindors. But Harry can't. Ron had not spoken to him since he had told him about Snape's detentions, and Harry half hoped that they would be able to make things up during the 2 hours that they were forced to, pickle rat brains.
Oh!
Yeah.
Bad timing.
gross.
Bad timing.
Super
Poor
bad
Linguini.
timing. But that was the same day that Rita's article came out, and Harry was now getting even more attention. So, boo-hoo to Ron. Sorry about your
Aw.
luck, buddy. Now Harry said that he would only talk to Ron if Ron admitted that Harry did not put his name into the Goblet of Fire. And Hermione was basically furious at the pair of them. And Harry says, I didn't start this, Harry said stubbornly. It's his problem. You miss him, Hermione said impatiently, and I know he misses you. Miss him? Said Harry. I don't miss him.
It's so sad.
It really is. It's like, just stinking talk to each other.
Yeah.
But in his head, Harry admitted that that was a downright lie. Harry liked Hermione very much, but it wasn't the same as hanging out with Ron because there was a lot less laughter and there was just more like hanging out in the library. You know, boring.
Libraries can be fun.
Not all the time. Megan.
This little section of Goblet of Fire is my, it's my ammo for all of the Harry Hermione shippers out there. Sorry, guys. They would not have done well together.
Oh no, they would have been like bored out of their minds.
Yeah, I don't know. This right here, no.
They're great as biffles.
They are great as best friends, but
Yeah.
no.
It's not enough to sustain.
Like, Harry's not as funny as Ron is, and I think Hermione needs that, like, humor to, like, bring her out of her.
Because Harry won't push the funnies. Ron
Exactly.
pushes the funnies.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Push the
Yes.
funnies.
Because Harry will just like be calm and he'll sit there and he'll be in his head, but Ron's like da 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 da, and he'll always like have something to say and have a quip and
Yes.
hit back. And Hermione, like I mean, obviously she loves it.
Romani for
I
life.
think she pretends that it annoys her from time to
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But I think
For sure.
for the most part, she's like, ew, Ron.
Oh my gosh.
Ron.
Well, I think they balance each other well. Not to
Yes.
go off on a huge tangent of talking about Ron and Hermione.
Oh, they're
but-
perfect.
Like they go well together. Like they kind of remind me of my parents because my mom is like a very serious. I shouldn't say she's very serious.
She's
she's
more
significantly-
serious.
Yeah. So they go well together, you know? Because
Like
my mom
peanut
always
butter
says,
and jelly.
yeah, my mom always says he cooks for me and he makes me laugh, and I think that's something that Hermione needs, someone that's gonna make her laugh and be the yin to her yang.
Yeah, like, Harry and Hermione are like a peanut butter and peanut butter sandwich. And then Ron and Hermione are a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Just perfect. I
Maybe
really
it's a
like
Weasley
that.
thing, because if Ron and Hermione are peanut butter and jelly, and Harry and Hermione are peanut butter and peanut butter, I would say one's probably a little crunchier than the other, just for a little contrast.
I like
And
that.
then
like that.
Harry and Ginny are peanut butter and jelly, so the jelly must be a Weasley thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'll
So
be
hold
the
on.
peanut butter to Charlie's peanut butter. I'd be the jelly to his jelly. I don't know what I'm saying.
So are you telling me that we're all in agreement that we ship peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Yeah.
I actually hate them.
Oh, they're
Get
so
out.
good.
I like them. Ooh,
Okay.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Ron is strawberry jelly to Hermione's regular peanut butter. Yeah.
So are you saying that the peanut butter and the Harry and Hermione, that Harry's the crunchy peanut butter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
You know
hold
what?
on.
I think he is.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then
Katie,
Ginny's
what kind of
raspberry
peanut butter
jelly.
are you?
What kind of peanut butter am I? Honey roasted.
What are you, Megan?
Honey roasted crunchy.
What are you, Sarah?
So wait, are you guys saying that you are a peanut butter and peanut butter sandwich?
No, Tiffany
I'm
just
asking what
specifically
kind of
asked peanut butter.
I don't like peanut butter, but
Like a peanut butter that represents you.
I'm gonna tell you the only one I like is the honey roasted, my own, like you blended up yourself,
Yes.
freshly ground, and an apple. That's delicious.
Okay. I didn't ask for the last bit, but fine.
What are you saying?
I'm just.
What kind of peanut butter are you? Are you Jif? Are you Jiffy?
No.
No, I'm fresh ground.
Fresh
I'm
ground.
extra
Pan?
crunchy. Extra crunchy.
I don't know if I'd be able to eat like a crunchy peanut butter nowadays, but I remember as a kid I loved it. But now the thought like freaks me out. But I also don't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so.
Okay, so if this episode title doesn't have peanut butter and jelly in it, I riot.
But we got a good one. We named it
What did you put?
Ron pushes the funnies.
Did I say that? That's fine.
We can change
AKA
it.
peanut butter and jelly. All right. If we still have listeners of this podcast, we're going to continue with the episode. So thank you for hanging on. Those of you who left us, RIP. Here we go. All right. So Harry admitted that it was a downright lie. We already covered this. Where am I at? Harry was still having trouble with summoning charms. He seemed to have a block about them. Hermione insisted that the theory would help him. And I said, Harry strikes me as not a theory kind of guy. He is a hands-on, experienced type learner.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why he doesn't like to spend a whole lot of his time in the library.
Or doing his paperwork.
Correct. None of it. Sarah.
That just makes it, I mean, it's true.
I know.
I was like doing his paperwork and then I remembered. All right, well.
Even during lunchtime, they would just be poring over their books. So, Mr. Crumb, by the way, is spending an awful lot of time in the library, too. Why?
Interesting.
Wonder. I wonder.
He's also peanut butter.
I think you just delivered that as an insult, but I'm going to skip over that and keep going. Harry was wondering if Crumb was in the library studying for classes or if he's looking up things that would help him get through the first task. And Hermione basically was complaining about him being there because a group of girls would always be giggling and spying on him from behind the bookshelves.
See? Peanut butter.
Oh my god.
And if you see what I said read Hermione or Herm's lies. So she says, he's not even good looking, she muttered angrily, glaring at Crumb's sharp profile. They only like him because he's famous. They wouldn't look twice at him if he couldn't do that wonky feint thing. And through gritted teeth, Harry says, Wronski feint. I mean,
that. If he just if he just sucked it up and like talked to his best friend, he wouldn't have to be getting annoyed at his other friend for not knowing Quidditch terms. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hermione for life, I'm just saying.
PB&J for life, okay?
Yep, Hermione. PBJ, Hermione, same thing.
No.
So like I said, Harry corrects her about the coolest Quidditch move on the planet, and then that hurts him because he thinks back to days that seem so far about he and Ron and how Ron would have reacted if he heard Hermione say that.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
Poor guy. So I wanted to read this little part because this is so true for life. And
God.
Jo is just queen. It is a strange thing, but when you are dreading something and would give anything to slow down time, it has a way of disobligating habit of speeding up. The days until the first task seem to slip by as though someone had fixed the clocks to work at double speed.
I feel that on a personal level.
I wish that the time was like that from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Well, like, too, there's also days where, like, it's the reverse, where, like, I know for me, there's days at work where I swear to God I'm working and my day's over and I look at the clock and it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I have this many more hours to go? It's crazy. So there's, like, both those kinds of days,
Yeah, I feel like I am kind of blessed with the teaching job because everything is according to, like, a time schedule. And I have to break everything up. So my days kind of go fast, knock on wood. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So, back to the chapter. Harry was barely controlling his panicky feeling about the first task, and on the Saturday before the first task, there was a visit to Hogsmeade. And it says, quote, the only entirely non-Muggle settlement in Britain. The only one. Like, that kind of surprises me.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know? Like, the only non-Muggle.
Well, because I think of, like, the people that are, like, pure bloods, like, fanatics. They don't want to do anything, like... So, but you don't live there, so, like, you obviously need to live in or near or around Muggles.
I feel like a lot of, like, if you think about, like, the Malfoy Manor or something, it seems super secluded.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, because they can get around so easy with, like, apparating and everything, so, like, to them it doesn't really matter if they live in a city or not, because it's not like it matters if they're close or far to anything, you know?
That's a good point.
Yeah. It just makes me wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
That's just I just really wanted to point that out. Like, that's literally the only one.
Crazy.
Hermione brings up a good point that it would be good for them to get away and have a bit of a break for his feelings and for his brain, pretty much. Harry is in desperate need to get out of that castle and have some fun and relaxation. So, the first task is what Joe writes as November 24th, which is a Thursday. So the Saturday before would have been the 19th of November 1994. Which doesn't make sense. So this is where she messed up with her dates, right? Timeline, Sarah?
She did, like, really bad in Goblet, didn't she? Like, it's known that she did pretty bad in this one.
She even said, like, in an interview, because she was talking once about, like, the years that the Weasley kids were all born, and she's like, oh my gosh, she said, like, how many years were in between them, and then got their years wrong of, like, when they were born. She either said she was, like, bad at math or, like, just bad at the dates or whatever, so that's probably why she just threw out a date and said it was like, oh, you know, this is the date, and it's a
Saturday,
Thursday.
though, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I said what I think the dates would be, had Joe known that we would nitpick her writing, is November 26, 1994 would have been the first task, and the Hogsmeade trip would have been November 19th, 1994. And I said, sorry, Joe. Ha ha. Hermione's plan is, I thought we would meet up with him in the Three Broomsticks. Who's him, you say? Oh, that's Ron. And Harry says, no.
No.
Reminds me of John Mulaney when John Mulaney's like, and I said no, you know, like a liar. Oh, Harry, this is so stupid. I'll come, but I'm not meeting Ron, and I'm wearing my invisibility cloak. Oh, all right then, Hermione snapped, but I hate talking to you in that cloak. I never know if I'm looking at you or not. Harry puts on his cloak and they set out towards Hogsmeade. Hooray! And Harry felt wonderfully free under the cloak. And I said, side note, Joe was making capital in cloak. And it should have made me pick up that something was special about it. I mean, yeah, it's his dad and all, but it's a hollow.
It's a hollow.
Did anybody, I want to know for you guys and our listeners, like, cloak is capitalized. Did you just think it was just like, I don't know.
I didn't think anything of it.
I just assumed it was like...
Oh my God.
Did you know, Sarah?
I just assumed it was like
Joe and I?
A magical artifact, so it was just like a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Joe and I are close personal friends, and she told me.
I want to do that SpongeBob meme where he's like,
Yeah,
I knew Joe was thinking that.
I've known all along.
I'm sure. Most of the students were wearing the support Cedric Diggory badges, but because he was under the cloak, no one was able to shoot him any kind of comments. And that probably was super freeing.
Is that why he wore the cloak?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I just didn't remember if he, like, you know,
Sorry. Man down.
had other reason.
No, I think it was just because he wanted to be able to get out of the castle, and he also didn't want to have to deal with everybody's garbage or trash, your preference. So the cloak
he just wanted
made
to be, he wanted to be invisible. right?
Literally
Yeah.
and figuratively.
Yeah.
Literally.
Instead of people, oh, nope, read that wrong. Here we go. Instead, people were looking at Hermione because she appeared to be talking to herself.
She's
So
crazy.
Harry tries to coach her, and he's like, "Don't move your lips so much when you talk to me."
What is she, a ventriloquist?
I probably would have had something snotty to say back. Be like, well, it's your fault that I'm looking like this.
Well, she basically kind of does that. She's like, "Take off your cloak because no one's going to bother you in Honeydukes." But lo and behold,
Wow.
there's Rita in all her glory with her photographer friend coming in from Three Broomsticks. So maybe she's feeling a bit warmer because she had some drinks.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see. Harry backed into the wall of Honeydukes, so her crocodile skin bag didn't hit him. Harry believes that she's staying in the village, so she's easily able to come to the first task. Someone has their hands up.
Vinny went and checked even his Portuguese version, and cloak is capitalized as well, even in Philosopher's Stone.
Told ya.
So.
You're all welcome. Get out.
Sarah.
So yeah, picked up on that. Did you guys pick up on that at all or no?
Oh yeah,
No.
totally. I've known since we started this podcast. I just was waiting for the
Get
right
outta
moment
here.
to tell you all.
I knew from
so
like
no on all counts.
2000s.
I knew back in like
Told you.
2001 whenever I first started reading Harry Potter.
I knew in 97.
So,
You didn't even
we
read
all
it.
we all learned something new today, that dogs don't lay eggs.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What?
That's Family Guy.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
As he said it, his stomach flooded with a wave of molten panic. Because Rita's coming to the first task, if you forgot what I said before, because we're crazy. Harry didn't mention his feelings, and nor did Hermione. So he got the feeling that she didn't want to think about it. She didn't want to think about Rita coming either. Because Rita's talking about her, Rita's talking about him, Rita's talking about everybody up in here, so... Then they head into the Three Broomsticks for a nice butterbeer. I said, how cozy. And she said, as a treat, Harry doesn't even have to talk to Ron.
Poor Hermione.
Our lovely doc maker, Sarah, chose to give.
You speak English.
Not today. All of us dragons, because of the coolness of the first task.
Because we meet
well,
them
so-
in this chapter.
Yes. So the reason I wanted to talk about it in this chapter was because this is when we first meet them. And so there's 4 dragons and there's 4 of us, unless you can't count. There's 4 separate people on this podcast. And so we just get a dragon. But
we are going to start by learning just a smidge about them from the Newt Scamander, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling, illustrated by Olivia, what do you say that, Lomenchek?
Can you say Newt Scamander like Florence does?
Newt Scamander.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Dragon is a Ministry of Magic classification 1, 2, 3, 4, 5X. Had to count them. So I'm just going to read. It's very, very short, I believe.
Do you want to say what 5X's means, though?
Do you have that currently?
Hold on. My computer is falling down.
We're using real-time books, friends. Real pages.
Uh-oh.
Computer's falling.
Real-time life actual pages.
Do you know that my workouts say real-time because they're recorded every day, live, and every time I see it, I think real-time life?
Real-time
Oh,
life.
So, the Ministry of Magic has classifications, and the biggest one, I guess, for like the most dangerous animals is 5X's, and it's known wizard killer, impossible to train or domesticate. Well, don't tell them that there's movies called How to Train Your Dragon, all right?
Hey. Yes. All right. Let's get into the dragon. Probably the most famous of all magical beasts, dragons are among the most difficult to hide. The female is generally larger and more aggressive than the male, though neither should be approached by any but highly skilled and trained wizards. Dragon hide, blood, heart, liver, and horn all have highly magical properties, but dragon eggs are defined as a Class A non-tradable goods. There are 10 breeds of dragon, though these have been known to interbreed on occasion, producing rare hybrids. Purebred dragons are as follows. And then there's a ton. But I'm not going to read them all to you.
Yeah, we're just going to go
Fireball.
through our 4.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm going to read mine from the book, and then I'll pull out the bits from Pottermore. All right. So Sarah gave me the Hungarian Horntail, and it says the Hungarian Horntail feeds on goats, sheep, and whenever possible, humans.
Oh,
Yeah,
Tasty.
yeah. That's printed, so it's true. Supposedly, the most dangerous of all dragon breeds, the Hungarian Horntail has black scales and is lizard-like in appearance. It has yellow eyes, bronze horns, and similarly colored spikes that protrude from its long tail. The horntail has one of the longest fire-breathing ranges, up to 50 feet. Its eggs are cement-colored and particularly hard-shelled. The young club their way out using their tails, whose spikes are well developed at birth. The Hungarian Horntail feeds on goats, sheep, and whenever possible humans. So that is from the book. Pottermore has a little fact file, which the first part appearance is the same. It says dragon blood has many magical properties, and their heartstrings can be used as wand cores. We knew that. I don't know. Did I say it's considered to be the most dangerous dragon type? No one listened.
I feel
Cool.
like you did.
Oh, sorry. I was shaking my head, but I was yawning,
Oh,
so I
sorry.
couldn't say anything.
Gotcha. And the typical habitat is hungry. And then it kind of goes into the task. Katie, what's up?
so as I was researching my dragon, I had a thought. Because I think all the dragons on Pottermore say that same magical ability thing where, like, you can use their heartstrings. Do you think that different dragon heartstrings create different types of wands and magic and stuff?
Probs.
Oh, 100%.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have a Hungarian Horntail heartstring, as opposed to, I don't know, a Swedish short snout or a Chinese fireball or a Ukrainian ironbelly, what does it change it?
Do
Probably
you
a
think
little.
that because the horntail is the most, like, dangerous, do you think that, like, that dragon heartstring would be, like, more powerful or maybe more, like, more difficult to control? Or
yeah, like an
what
unyielding
you know what I
wand.
mean? Like what you... Yeah!
Yeah.
Yes.
I bet it contributes to the magical property.
I
bet
guarantee
it
it does. I guarantee it does. Dear Ollivander stuff.
Wow, that's a new one. Dear Ollie.
Hey.
How you doing?
So there's just literally a bunch of stuff about like just quotes from Goblet of Fire about the Horntail. But I think it's pretty cool that they have like little mini fact files
I
Yeah,
agree.
and the
even for the
extracts.
dragons.
They put in extracts from the book, so you can, if you don't have the book, you can go on Pottermore and you can see what I read
Yes.
without having the book.
This might seem like a dumb question, but do you think they have to kill them to get the core for a dragon heartstring? Like, do you think that they could, like, extract some? Probably
That's a good
not.
question.
I feel
don't know.
like they probably have to kill them.
And so, my other question is, so, I wonder,
many
like, how
heartstrings
quickly...
per a heart.
But, like, I wonder how quickly after they kill it, or if, like, they see one dead, can they take the heart, or is it less effective the longer they've been dead? Such
Yeah,
a
I
morbid
don't know.
question.
It's a good question. And when I was researching my dragon, like some dragons are really, they're like, what's the word? Poached for like their hide and stuff. So I wonder if there's
yeah.
even a black market. Like, say those people kill this dragon, they take the skin, they make it out or whatever. Maybe they take the heartstrings and they try to sell it too. You know,
Probably.
because it's
Yeah.
probably pretty hard to get those.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
All the thoughts to think.
Mm-hmm.
What
That's
if
a
you
good
wanted to be vegan in the wizarding world and a dragon heartstring wand chose you? What would you do? That'd be
Is that
hard.
why? Are you
not own a
reading
wand.
her thing on Discord? Is that why you said that?
No, I honestly didn't even see that.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Wait, what? You didn't? I thought you...
No, I didn't. I just thought of that. I was like, can you imagine?
That's
I mean,
so
like, at
funny.
least
Even,
a
like-
unicorn hair, like, you don't have to kill the animal to get unicorn hair for your wand, you know? Or, like, a phoenix feather. It sounded as if Fawkes, like, willingly gave feathers to Ollivander, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And my wand is Dragon Heartstring, and I am currently a vegan right now.
Well, guess what? No magic for you.
Well, you know, it chose me. I didn't choose it.
Oh my god.
I didn't choose it.
I didn't choose it. Alright, is it my turn?
It is green.
Alright.
You just said it. Take a shot, guys. Take a shot.
Yep.
Alright,
I already said it and nobody
Oh.
took a shot.
Take another shot.
the three brooms. So Harry and Hermione decide that they are going to go into Three Broomsticks. Tiff just said that. Well, like 10 minutes ago, probs. So it is totally packed in there. It was really hard for Harry to move around in the cloak because he would accidentally trot on someone. And then if that did happen, it leads to awkward questions. So he was just trying really hard to just stay out of everybody's way. But he got into a booth, and then Hermione went to go get them drinks. And Harry spotted Ron with Fred, George, and Lee Jordan, and felt the urge and had to resist very hard to poke Ron in the back of his head. Which is just like...
That's something I would think.
That's something I probably would have followed through on, actually.
Just
That's
a
the
nice
difference
part.
between Gryffindor and Slytherin. Harry thought of it, I would have done it. Yeah. So Hermione comes back and slips him butterbeer under his cloak. And is just like, I look like such an idiot sitting here on my own. But she brought SPEW stuff to work on. And Harry thinks of how it seems like a really long time ago that him and Ron sat together making up predictions for divination when Hermione had turned up and told them all about SPEW and appointed them secretary and treasurer. And then Harry tries, though I really don't know why, to ask her when she's going to give this up. And she immediately is just like, when house elves have decent wages and working conditions. So, yeah. And then she's wondering how to get into the school kitchens, and Harry refers her to Fred and George.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Like
Does he know that they know how to get in, or is he just like, they know everything?
Does he
because they had
know
the
that
map?
she knows that they know that we know?
Actually, no, they do know, because
I
when
think
they
he
were
does
talking
know.
about it at the table, Fred or George, I couldn't
Mhm.
tell you which, was like, we've been down to the kitchens. They're happy.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think Hermione was there, but they were...
okay. Harry heard it.
Yeah, I think they said that to
Yeah.
Harry and Ron, maybe, earlier in the year, whenever she started talking about this stuff the first time. Right?
I think he said it to her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Read your book,
That
woman.
was... I did.
I'm
I've read,
just kidding.
I've
I'm
read
just kidding.
Goblet of Fire like 4 times since we've started this book. Alright. So Harry people watched while he... Did I say it again? God.
But,
Gosh
alright,
darn
so...
it. He people watched while he drank his butterbeer. He sees Ernie Mac and Hannah Abbott.
He's basically the
Around.
Is
best.
basically the best. They were swapping chocolate frog cards nearby, and they were both sporting support Cedric Diggory badges.
Woo!
Okay.
Katie, that was a little bit much.
No, thank you.
Y'all just jealous. Badgers for life. Getting it done.
Third or nothing.
Third or nothing.
Okay,
I
nothing.
mean,
Too bad
he gets a little
Cedric
bit more than
didn't
nothing.
come into third.
Huh?
I said, too bad Cedric didn't come in third. Because he would have survived.
Alright. You
I
don't have to
would-
make this sad.
One would say he came in dead last.
Oh!
That's not funny.
Little bit.
Sarah!
Morbid piece of work.
Tiffany literally wiggled her arms around. You did the Kermit again.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh my god.
R.I.P. Cedric.
Cho, our girl Cho, was by the door.
Acho.
And Harry was cheered up slightly to see that she was not wearing a Support Cedric Diggory badge. Which is interesting because they've got a thing going on.
Spoiler.
Yeah, but she's also just not a mean person, you know?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what wouldn't he have given to be one of those people just sitting around and laughing and talking with nothing to worry about but homework? And he imagined how it would have felt to be here when his name hadn't come out of the Goblet of Fire. He wouldn't be wearing his invisibility cloak. Ron would be sitting with them, and the three of them would probably be happily imagining what deadly, dangerous task the school champions would be facing on Tuesday. He'd have been really looking forward to it, watching them do whatever it was, cheering on Cedric with everyone else, safe in a seat in the back of the stands.
I feel so bad for him.
I legit really do. Like, constantly throughout this entire book, just feel bad for Harry.
The whole series. This is literally Harry Potter in a paragraph.
No, I know, but, like, at least in all of the other books, he's got Ron, you know?
True.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll accept a portion of 7, but, you know.
Well, you know, it is what it is. So he wonders how the other champions are feeling right now. So Cedric, he's always got admirers around him, but he looks excited even while looking nervous. Fleur hasn't changed. She just looks...
You mean Floor?
Floor. Floor looks haughty and unruffled. Exactly as she always did, according to Harry.
Unruffled?
Like, not frazzled. Just kind of like...
Sure of herself.
Prim and proper and in her
Got
place.
you. Okay.
You know, and everything, yeah.
And Crumb just sat in the library and poured over books. Or did he pour over something else?
Oh, right.
A little Herm.
So he has this tight, tense knot in his chest, and immediately thinking of Sirius eases it slightly. He just thought about how he would
just
be...
glitched hard. Hold on. You just glitched super hard on my end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how it was for Sarah.
It was fine.
Yeah, I don't know what it sounds like, though.
He had a super tight, tense knot in his chest, and as soon as he thought of Sirius, it eased slightly, because he thought about how he would be speaking to him tonight. So, gosh darn it, okay, I need to really learn another word besides so, because it's making me angry at myself.
It's just a part of the pod, Meg.
I know.
Alright, so just let's move on.
Let us move on.
Alright, so Hermione announces that Hagrid is there, and he's with Professor Judy, who is drinking from his hip flask, and I guess he had just explained to them in their previous defense class that he prepares his own food and drink all the time because it's so easy for dark wizards to poison an unattended cup.
You know what, though? He's already lying, because when he showed up for the feast at the beginning of the year, he ate a sausage, and he didn't make that sausage. Oh, wait, did he?
He did. I think he took it out of his
did.
pocket.
Sniffed it.
I'm eating my own
I think
words.
he took it out of his pocket.
I think you're right. Like, he pulled a Hagrid.
Katie, was that a pun intended or untended?
What?
What
you
pun
said
did
you're
I make?
eating your own words.
Oh, I was gonna try and tie that in, but I couldn't think of a good way to do it. But thanks for having my back, Sarah.
I'm so lost.
She talks about him eating his own food, and she's like, "Why? I eat my own words."
Gotcha.
But I will say that is something. When you're out, don't leave your drinks unattended. True. Because bad things can happen. So just be, as fake Moody Judy would say. I just got really confused, but he would say constant vigilance.
Truth. Very true.
That's cool.
That's cool. So Harry watched them get up and leave and waved, but he forgot that he was under the cloak. However, Judy paused with his magical eye on the corner where Harry was.
And he
with my little magical eye of Harry Potter.
I have feelings
about this. I know. Hold on, I'm getting to it. So he muttered something to Hagrid, and then they made their way over to where Harry and Hermione were. Hagrid pretended to be visiting Hermione, but then Judy says, "Nice cloak, Potter." What? Tiff, what do you say to this?
Okay.
All
Okay,
right, so.
Harry's cloak is a hallow, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
It's capitalized.
It is supposed to be the one true invisibility cloak without fault, without error, right?
Right.
So, unless this magical eye is from Death himself, how can it see Harry? Give it to me, because I need to understand.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Because that's what Joe wrote.
Truth. I think this was so later on when Harry gets his foot stuck in the step.
Yeah.
He can get helped out.
Yeah, but
No, I don't agree with it.
at the same
It makes me
time,
angry.
I just, like, I would be okay with it if we got more of an explanation as to, like, where this eye came from. How did it come to be? Like, what made it as powerful as it is? Because clearly it really is. It can see through anything, even something that is meant to be impossible to see through, no matter what, because it's a hollow.
Something that's literally, like, deep, hardcore, old magic.
Right.
Yeah.
So this must be
Discord.
old magic.
Yeah.
Discord friends, what do you think? Tell me, because it actually, like, what did I talk to you about this a couple of weeks ago? Literally, I'm staring at this sentence and I'm like, this isn't right.
Did you have your eye on the sentence?
I had my magical eye on it, but mine can't see through hollows that aren't supposed to be seen through.
But maybe his eye is not like maybe it is ancient magic. Maybe there's something like, because he can see through. I understand what you're saying with the hollow and everything, but also remember there's times where, like, Sarah, you have to realize that, like, J.K. Rowling did not think, or probably didn't think, that her work was going to be dissected as much as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
did you look to see what it says on if she'd said anything about it ever?
No, because it wasn't my section. No, I'm just kidding, because I forgot, actually. No, but here's my thing. Here's the only explanation I can come up with to make myself feel better, is that Judy was just reading the room. So maybe Harry had nudged a chair or whatever, because Judy isn't an idiot. Like, Barty Crouch Jr. is exceptionally bright. So maybe it was just like context clues. This chair moved. Hermione, he can see Hermione's lips moving or whatever, and just 2 and 2 put it together that maybe there's some kind of invisibility going on. The other teachers may have told him, hey, sometimes Potter gets into trouble. He's got an invisibility cloak, XYZ. So that's the only thing that I can think of, or it's a hole.
I just had a thought. What if his eye can see, like, heat signatures? So, like, the cloak is invisible, but, like, it doesn't necessarily, like, shadow that. So, like, he can see a heat signature of something next to Hermione person shape, and he's not dumb, like you said. Like, he's obviously, like, aware that, you know, they're friends and, like, reading the room, all that stuff, and he can see a heat signature, and he's like, that's Potter, because Ron's not here. You know what I mean?
That still is a fault in the cloak, though.
But here's my thing, like, if, say, you are, at least in degrees Fahrenheit, you roughly run 98.6 degrees. That's the average temperature.
Sure.
So you have a cloak on, so you're even warmer. It's all the heat is in, and you sit down on something, like, are you not telling me your butt's not going to leave some warmth from you sitting there for a while? Regardless if you're an invisibility cloak or not. So it's not exactly reading the heat from the cloak, but reading the heat from where he's sitting.
If the cloak works as the cloak should work, though, it should cover his entire body, whether he's sitting or not.
But that's not covering the body. That's covering heat coming from the body. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's actually reading the heat signature from this chair he's on.
But what I'm saying is, so if I sit in a chair, my cloak should cover my bottom, which would put a barrier between my bottom and the chair.
But that would make the chair invisible, is what you're telling me. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, I would say that it would block the heat radiating from my body from hitting the chair. Therefore, the eye wouldn't be able to see the heat on the chair.
Hold on.
I don't think that's true.
So, Two things. First of all, Mac in the Discord chat says, the cloak promised to render the wearer invisible, not non-existent.
That's why I said the chair thing or whatever.
Well, that's why I think that maybe the heat signature thing could be okay, because yes, to the naked eye, that is invisible. However, it's
Vinny.
Not non-existent. But then Vinny says Moody later can see Harry's expression through the cloak when he's getting back from the prefix bathroom, so he literally can see through it. And here's my explanation that I kind of came up with, and this like makes me feel better about it. We did our Felix Files on Moody's character analysis, right? So, like, we know Moody's whole entire family history and everything. Like, he is literally made to be an Auror. Down to, like, every aspect of him as a person. Like, he is meant and made to be an Auror. And I feel like maybe this is something that he developed, because we know that he is like such a strong and what's the word I'm looking for? He's such a good, obviously he's a really bright wizard. He's passed everything with flying colors. He studies everything to be the best wizard catcher possible, bad wizard catcher possible. And if this could help him, then I would assume that he would make it work.
I like that, and I also like that maybe the eye really is super old, because he comes from the longest, like a very, very, very long line of Aurors.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something that someone in his family developed. But I don't know. It's still really hard because it's a hollow.
But Moody is like the wizard catcher, and he has to have something. You can't do
nothing against a hollow. It's a hollow.
That's not necessarily true, because how many owners of the Elder Wand died? How many people who had the Resurrection Stone ended up giving their life because it drove them insane? Like, there are faults in the Hallows.
Those are the two evil Hallows, alright? Invisibility Cloak is nice
but
and cool.
Isn't that the point of death, though? The point of the whole Hallows was, like, he's like, you were supposed to die, so I want to get you, I'm tricking you this way. Yeah. And that's how, like, the third brother basically tricked him back.
Yeah, I mean, the Hallows are designed for the owner of the Hallows to be weak and susceptible and die eventually. Yeah. That's
it says
why the
here,
cloak
too,
was so clever.
Steffi in the Discord chat said, the cloak was supposed to make the wearer invisible to death, not necessarily to Judy or others.
I like that.
It makes you invisible to death.
Yeah, but it still makes you invisible to everybody else.
Yeah, but maybe nobody, like, Man-Eye Moody's really the only one you know about that has a magical eye.
Go look up the description of the cloak.
You go look up the description of the cloak and read it to me.
I will, you fart face.
Vinny says if the eye had more powers, it could work. If some way it's related to death. All of the Hallows had powers related to death in any way. Maybe if the eye can see Thestrals, it could make sense. But in Deathly Hallows, Accio could not remove the cloak.
Maybe, like, it has something to do... Like, I'm trying to think of, like, things I remember from, like, history or myths and stuff. And the only person I can think of are from Hercules, how... the Fates had one eye. Maybe it's something similar to that, where it's like an ancient eye, like an all-seeing eye, and it can see through the back of his head. It can see through all the things, and
love that.
sees what a boggart really looks like, because he looked and found one at the Grimmauld place. I don't know why I called it.
I really feel like there's something with the eye that's not explained to us by Joe. Like, how do we know that this eye didn't come from death somehow? Like, we have no idea. It could have been generations ago. The Moody family somehow acquired this eye from death. I mean,
maybe it's Death's own eyeball.
Maybe.
This is the next series after the 5th Fantastic Beasts come out. It's going to be all about Mad-Eye Moody's family.
And how he acquired the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's going to be called You're a Seer, Moody.
And like,
Tiff
I got
is
you
not
now.
convinced.
I'm 100% not. So it's in the Tale of the Three Brothers, so I have to pull that up.
Okay.
Oh, are you talking about
the description?
I thought you were talking about the eye, and I was like, cool, bro.
No, but like I said, I mean, when I opened what I was saying, like, unless that eye is like from death or something like that, like, that's fine. But
Well, did you hear what I said about like it being from the Fates or something similar?
yeah.
I like that.
Like, and I'm
Okay.
totally fine with that. But I want a
Confirmation.
Dear Joe moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
So-
it just doesn't sit well with me. That's what I'm saying.
Is this your number one question you would ask Joe?
No, is Lavender dead?
I was gonna be like, or is it Lavender's state of aliveness?
No, I need to know about Lavender. All right, continue on with the
Okay.
green.
All right. So Hagrid was beaming down at Harry too. So did Judy just assume that Hagrid knew Harry had an invisibility cloak? I kind of actually am wondering if they had a discussion before walking over there. And that's probably why. Like
Or
maybe Judy asked Hagrid, "Does he have a cloak?" You know what I mean?
But why would he
Yeah.
ask that?
Why not?
Well,
Because he has
move.
no reason to assume that he does.
No, like I said, I guarantee the teachers were like, "Watch out for Potter. He's got a cloak."
I don't think they would have said that. I think that Hagrid, we know,
Talks too much.
is a little bit loose-lipped when he has a beverage in him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying,
True.
as a teacher, that's something that we would tell one another.
Yeah, but do they know that?
The teachers?
I don't know if
Only
all of them
Dumbledore
do.
knows.
Snape does.
Oh.
Snape does.
Yeah, and you know Snape would
does
tell
McGonagall?
Moody anything he could to get Harry into trouble. Moody
No,
being
I don't think so.
I bet you that
You're
Hagrid
entitled
and
to
him had a conversation though, because Hagrid
Yeah.
knows about it. Because Hagrid then tells Harry, "Come
Yeah.
to my cabin at midnight. Bring your cloak."
Yeah, I think if he was gonna find out, it wouldn't have been from anyone but Hagrid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Not
I don't
meaning to
think
tell him.
I'm gonna anything you say, I'm gonna disagree with today because it's my birthday.
Marty is a wonderful human being.
No.
So
I
Hermione.
just ripped this from my pants.
Oh my gosh. Hermione points out that after Judy and Hagrid leave, that Harry might want to reschedule that because it might make him late to talk to Sirius. But Harry's just like, "No, I'll just be quick about whatever Hagrid wants. I'll get back in time." So later that night, he pretends to go to bed early before slipping out of the dorm. And the Creevy brothers were trying to get the support Cedric Diggory badges to say support Harry Potter instead, but all they had managed to do was to get it stuck on Potter Stinks. Oh, those Creevy
So
brothers.
take a shower.
He will be taking a bath.
You will be taking a bath in a couple days, maybe.
Well, wash more than that.
So my dragon that Sarah gave me is the common Welsh Green. I'm going to read from the Fantastic Beasts book what it says about it. The Welsh Green blends well with the lush grass of its homeland, though it nests in the higher mountains, where a reservation has been established for its preservation. The Ilfracombe Incident notwithstanding, this breed is among the least troublesome of the dragons, preferring, like the opal eye, to prey on sheep and actively avoiding humans unless provoked. The Welsh Green has an easily recognizable and surprisingly melodious roar. Fire is issued in thin jets, and the Welsh Green's eggs are an earthy brown flecked with green. So it didn't say in there, it just said of its homeland, but it lives in Wales. Again, magical abilities, dragon blood has many magical properties. The heartstrings can be used as wand cores, like we said before. This one is quite different from the Hungarian Horntail in that it avoids humans unless provoked. And on the wiki, it says the Ilfracombe Incident occurred in 1932 when a rogue common Welsh green dragon attacked a group of sunbathers in Ilfracombe in Devon, England. The attack was thwarted by the Toke wizarding family, who proceeded to cast the largest group of memory charms seen in the 20th century. The
Wow.
Toke family were subsequently awarded the Order of Merlin First Class for their heroism and quick thinking. It's a relatively subdued breed. except obviously for the rare exception, such as the Ilfracombe Incident. It has like a musical roar, so apparently it's like very recognizable. The roar is recognizable because it sounds like music. And this was on the Wikia, and I don't know where they pulled this information from, but it's interesting, so I'm going to say it. It says that it's possible that a young common Welsh green may have been the actual cause of the Great Fire of London, which was like a real thing that happened in history.
Those dragons.
In the Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2 video game, it's actually a Welsh green that is used to guard the Lestrange vault.
Lestrange!
Jim Dale says
Lestrange,
okay?
Lestrange. I'm better than you.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
So in the video game, it's a Welsh green. However, in the film, it's a Ukrainian iron belly. And unlike the other dragons from the first task, which are shown in the modern wyvern design, the common Welsh green selected by Fleur is depicted in the classic dragon design with 4 legs. That's all I got.
Oh, that last fact is cool.
What? Oh. In the German translation of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Newt Scamander says that the common Welsh green has brown and green eyes instead of eggs.
It's just a typo.
Yeah, it's a typo.
Oh.
Sarah's like, okay.
Very
no, but that actually is kind of funny because he like talks about Tina's eyes.
I like salamanders.
Salamander eyes.
I'm not supposed to say.
I love that part so much.
I know.
Like, don't say that to her. And then he does, and it's like the best part of that movie.
It's so cute.
It brought a tear to my little eye.
To your magical little eye.
I also just want to say that I just love how all of these dragons that we see in this chapter, like, they all have a very specific region. Like, you think a dragon, like, I don't know. It's like I'm trying to think of something to compare it to, but, like, do we have an animal like that where it's like, oh, well, if it's from this region, it looks like this, or if it's from this region, it looks like this?
In the Pokemon regions, that's very common, so...
Truth.
What's a Pokemon?
Well, there's, like, a lot of them, but we don't have the time.
We don't have the time. I just think it's really cool that, like, it's very specific regions. Oh, that's a good one. Badgers look different in the US and the UK.
True.
Like, in the US, they look like they want to kill you, but in the UK, they look fuzzy and welcoming and, like, you know, dapper.
Thanks to 23andMe, I am from over there, so I'm fuzzy and dapper.
Oh my god.
You've always been dapper, Katie.
Thanks.
Attention, dear Switchers. It's me, Sarah, your favorite. Just letting you know that adventure is out there. Why settle for ordinary chain store coffee when you can have an adventure in every cup with Expedition Roasters? Artisanal roasters of pop culture coffee. Now you can experience a little theme park magic every day at your own home or wherever you drink your coffee. Each themed bag features custom artwork by guest artists that makes it perfect for displaying in your kitchen or office. Try one of our premium wizarding roasts like Book Smart Blueberry, Charming Chocolate Cherry, Cunning Caramel Crunch, or Big Hearted Butterscotch. All of our coffees are certified gluten-free and allergen-free. So start your coffee adventure today at expeditionroasters.com and use our coupon code SWISHFLICK15 to get 15% off your first purchase. Brew your happy place. Gotta say, I placed my own order with them, and I got their dark side roast, very good, and I got 2 of their 3 teas. So once I try them, I will let you guys know how I like them. So far, they smell really good, and I'm excited to have a cup of tea or two.
I like sniffing tea. Is that weird?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I
Like
love sniffing tea.
Little inside
You know what I'm saying?
pro tip. I've had the Cunning Caramel Crunch before, but I tried it with hazelnut creamer. Oof, that's good.
Was good. Almond milk.
Yeah, almond milk.
Nice.
All right. So,
Next one.
today's show.
Just embrace it.
I know. Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/swishflickcast. You can, download a title for free and start listening. So why Audible? Audible content includes an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, and entertainers. You can get all 7 of the Harry Potter books, Fantastic Beasts, Quidditch Through the Ages, History of Magic. I listen to all the Harry Potter books on Audible on my long drives to and from work. Though maybe that's going to change because I might not have a long drive from work.
Yes.
But I'll still love Audible, so it's all good. I listen to them like while I cook. So when you sign up, you get 1 audiobook for free. You can pick whatever book that you would like. So to download your free audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/swishflickcast.
Good job, guys.
Well done.
Thanks.
Okay. I found what I was looking for, by the way,
Go for it.
about sorry to go back to this, but I'm not sorry because that's what this podcast is for. About the invisibility cloak. So there was a line that I knew I was trying to think of. It's, of course, from Seven, my favorite. Xenophilius Lovegood brings this line out, and he says, quote, about the cloak, endures eternally, giving constant and impenetrable concealment, no matter what spells are cast at it.
Joe, what's with you screwing up in Goblet, man?
That doesn't sound like... I mean, like, the eye's not a spell.
But it says
Yeah.
impenetrable.
But it's yeah. That's just saying no matter what spells. It's
by a
impenetrable.
spell.
Not by a spell.
That's what it says.
No, it doesn't. It says no matter what
Ooh.
spells.
Tiffany's getting angry.
Ooh, it's getting feisty
When
in
you
here.
listen, ma'am, when you look with your eyes, are you casting spells?
Pew, 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 out your eyeballs.
Your regular eyes. That's not a spell. So just because it's a magical eye, like, doesn't mean that magical eye is casting a spell, right?
Right.
It's just looking. So
I know, that's what I'm saying.
but it's not casting a spell.
I know.
So then it could...
But it's magical. I'm saying what Xenophilius is potentially saying is that it's impenetrable by spells, but the magical eye is not a spell. It's another device of seeing through the cloak. So,
but it's also like, yeah, it's magical, it can see through stuff, whatever. But it still says it's impenetrable concealment. That, to me, in itself, giving constant and impenetrable concealment, to me, I guess we're going to have to do this because we don't know, as a reader, means no matter what. This is such strong magic, nothing gets through it.
Except Moody's magical eye.
Right.
Oh my god!
But that's why I think it's
My gum just
that's why
fell
I
out of
think
my
it's
mouth.
wrong.
It could be
Why
a
are you
plot
chewing
hole.
gum and podcasting?
I think
Did
that...
you even notice?
Yeah, at the beginning, and I didn't say anything.
Wow.
I think that obviously, like, this is a plot hole because Joe needed it to be this way.
That's what
I
I'm
just
saying.
wish
like, I'm saying
that
it's
there
a
was
plot
more
hole.
explanation for it, because I'm sure that she has an answer. If somebody ever has the opportunity to ask her a question, like, this would be a good one. I'm just
She
saying.
ever gets back on Twitter?
Explain to us why Moody's eye is different from all other magic. And because I know that she always has an answer for everything, whether she's pulling it out of nowhere and just, like, fixing a plot hole or not. Like, she always has an answer, so I would love to hear it. But there's just got to be something special about that eye.
Well, did you see what Vinny said? He said for you to be able to see something, light needs to hit something and bounce to your eyes. If it's impenetrable, light could not penetrate it.
Okay.
Bomb drop.
Hold on.
What? That's just proving Tiffany wrong. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, like, yeah, that's true, it's impenetrable, but so is the inside of a desk when it's closed, and Moody can see through that. I mean, like, there are lots of things that are, quote, impenetrable that Moody can see through. The back of your head is impenetrable, but he can see through it.
The back of your head is not a hollow, ma'am.
It's not a magical object.
I know.
The back of your head is ridiculous.
This class is ridiculous.
So what I'm saying is, it's just incorrect.
Dear Joe.
It's
Like,
just,
it might not be.
well, as of now, in my opinion, it is, and I have the right to change my mind.
True. You have the right to your peppers and opinions.
I do indeed, and that's my pepper.
I just think that it's a good conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that, you know, like I said, it could be a plot hole, but I'm sure she has an answer for it. So if anybody has ever read an answer of hers from that, send it to us and let us know, because I would love to read it.
And Megan, you know what? Whatever she would say, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, yeah.
So who's with who on this? Let's just so I know the teams. Are we whose team Mad Eye's eye should be able to see through the cloak? Should be able to. Megan?
I'm gonna go with the yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it should.
All right. So Katie and I are on a team, and Sarah and Megan are on a team.
I mean, I will not disagree with Joe. Like, it is what it is. I'm just saying I need more evidence. It doesn't make sense in my brain.
Correct. Same thing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have an issue with it, to be honest with you.
I just think
like
there's something special about Moody's eye that we don't know, you know?
I mean, there probably
There's
is.
gotta be.
I need to know.
I like to think that there's just something special about Moody. Not just his eye.
Aww.
Yeah, he's fake right now.
Oh my god.
All right, it's yellow, man.
Can I go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I won't bring it up again until, I feel like it.
Until we see him going through the staircase and then Moody sees him
Right.
again.
Couple chapters.
We're just ticking time away here.
The egg in the eye.
The egg in the eye.
Meg left off with Harry leaving the common room to go see Hagrid at midnight. Not twilight. Midnight. And when Harry sees Hagrid, there's an air of enormous excitement about him. And we're going to realize exactly why in just a little bit, especially because this is Hagrid we're talking about. And it looks like he's trying to get fancy again. So from the book, he was wearing a flower that resembled an oversized artichoke in his buttonhole. It looked as though he had abandoned his use of axle grease, but he had certainly attempted to comb his hair. Harry could see the comb's broken teeth tangled in it.
Oh,
I think it's adorable.
Do you think he's ever combed his hair?
No.
No.
There's no need, man.
You gotta get some conditioner in there.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
So Hagrid leads...
Don't comb your hair anymore.
Oh my
All right,
god.
sorry.
Hagrid leads Harry to the Beauxbatons carriage. Well,
Beauxbaton.
Well, Harry, it looks like you're going to be the third wheel on a little romantic moonlight stroll. Because they pick up Madame Maxime, and Hagrid greets her with a bonjour.
Bonjour, m'lady.
And they walk arm in arm.
I just got. I was like, what?
I know.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not even lying.
Then you're not allowed to talk about Hallows.
That has nothing to do with a hollow. That has to do with being able to kind of speak French or know what they're saying.
He's trying. They walk arm in arm, which is super cute. And Harry's getting more and more irritated as he, sprints to try and keep up with these two enormous human beings. And he's worried that he's going to be late for his meeting with Sirius. Because that's seriously important. Seriously.
Oh, okay.
And just when he's, about to have enough, he can hear men shouting up ahead, and then he hears a deafening, ear-splitting roar. At first he thinks it's just bonfires with, men running around them, but nope. Dragons. So I'm going to read an excerpt from the book. 4 fully grown, enormous, vicious-looking dragons were rearing onto their hind legs inside an enclosure fenced with thick planks of wood, roaring and snorting. Torrents of fire were shooting into the dark sky from their open, fanged mouths, 50 feet above the ground on their outstretched necks. You gonna help me out here? Lots of colors. There was a silvery blue one with long, pointed horns, snapping and snarling at the wizards on the ground. Thank you, Sarah. Great impression. a smooth-scaled green one, which was writhing and stamping with all its might, a red one with an odd fringe of fine gold spikes on its face, which was shooting mushroom-shaped fire clouds into the air, and a gigantic black one, more lizard-like than the others, which was nearest to them. At least 30 wizards, 7 or 8 to each dragon, were attempting to control them, pulling on the chains connected to heavy leather straps around their necks and legs. Mesmerized, Harry looked up, high above him, and saw the eyes of the black dragon, with vertical pupils like a cat's. Bulging with either fear or rage, he couldn't tell which. It was making a horrible noise, a yowling, screeching scream. So one of the dragon keepers, yells for Hagrid to keep back, and he's like, you know, their fire can shoot up to 20 feet, and I've seen that Horntail do 40. And Hagrid's just like, isn't it beautiful?
Isn't it beautiful?
He's in all of his glory.
Oh, yeah.
They're thriving!
They're thriving.
Can that be a new t-shirt design? Thriving!
Where's your seer, Harry?
Oh, I
Where's
know.
Thriving?
I got some work to do. So it takes a large number of the Dragon Keepers using Stupefy altogether to take the Black Dragon down. And who's the guy who was talking to Hagrid? Ed Sheeran!
Oh my gosh. Welcome to Hogwarts.
Did you see that they... Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil Game of Thrones. Sorry.
Whoa.
Ooh, yeah,
This
don't
has
do
not
that.
been the knee.
I don't know what that is.
So it's Charlie Weasley. Oh, hey, boo.
Charlie.
Oh, hey, boo.
I wish that they'd put him in the movie so much.
I know.
Like, I think he really is the Weasley for me.
Okay.
He's the jelly
saying.
for you.
Yeah.
Here's your jelly.
What flavor jelly?
It'd be strawberry. Ooh, maybe he'd be preserves.
Ooh,
Okay.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And because I enjoy, if I'm going to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it has to be on toasted bread. And he works with dragons, so he
Ooh.
would bring the
I've
toasted
never
bread.
had that before.
You've never had a toasted PB&J? How are we married? You gotta put bananas on
Your
it?
life will change. No.
Toasties.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
like
I love
bananas.
you. I'll make you a toasty PB&J.
Oh, okay,
Eating on your
thanks.
toasties. Eating burnt toast.
The peanut butter gets a little melty.
Mm-hmm.
Delish.
I can't talk about this anymore.
But it's so good. Okay, so he explains to Hagrid the different breeds. So we've got the Hungarian Horntail, the Welsh Green, the Swedish Short Snout, and the Chinese Fireball. And he reminds Hagrid that, you know, the champions aren't really supposed to know. I didn't know you were going to bring this lady along with you. And Hagrid was just like, oh, I thought she'd like to see him, and, like, that's it. And Charlie's like, really romantic date, Hagrid. But you can kind of see that they really do have, like, a good friendship here. Because, like, Charlie's, like, shaking his head at him, like, typical Hagrid, you know what I mean? I bet they were pretty close when Charlie was going to school, just because they have
Probably.
such an interest in creatures together. So since there's 4 dragons, that means that's 1 for each champion. And Hagrid's like, what do they have to do? Fight them? And Charlie's like, I'm not really too sure. I think they just have to get past them. We'll be on hand if anything gets nasty. We'll have extinguishing spells ready. And he points out that they specifically wanted nesting mothers, but he doesn't know why. And then he says, but I tell you this, I don't envy the one who gets the horntail. Vicious thing. Its back ends as dangerous as its front. So Harry looks, and there's bronze-colored spikes all along its tail. The other dragon keepers bring out these huge granite gray eggs and put it by the knocked-out Horntail, and Hagrid, he lets out a moan of longing, and Charlie's like, I've counted them, don't even think about it. So Charlie's like, how's Harry? And Hagrid's just like, fine. Like, I don't want to talk about Harry, I'm looking at dragons. And Charlie's like, well, I hope he's still fine after he faces dragons. And then he says, I didn't dare tell Mum what he's got to do for the first task. She's already having kittens about him. Which I'm going to be using for everything in life. It's the best. And then he imitates Mrs. Weasley. How could they let him enter the tournament? He's much too young. I thought they were all safe. I thought they were going to have an age limit. And then she was in floods after the Daily Prophet article came out. He still cries about his parents. Oh, bless him, I never knew.
It's not funny, but it can.
I know.
Jeez.
Alright, so darn it, I went the whole time! The Swedish short snout is my dragon.
Can you say that 10 times fast?
Swedish short snout, Swedish short snout, Swedish short snout, Swedish short snout. I can do it.
She did it.
That was only 4, but... So Pottermore had... I think it was Pottermore. Pretty much had... Maybe it was a lexicon. They had what it says in the Fantastic Beasts book. Just in different... I made sure it was the same information. But Pottermore, they're silver blue. Again, the dragon blood has magical properties. You can use the heartstrings. This one breathes blue fire that can reduce bone to ash in seconds.
Oh my god.
That's terrifying. But it has killed fewer humans than most dragon breeds, so that Horntail is still the nastiest. And it likes to live in uninhabited mountainous areas of Sweden. And this one was particularly pointed out that its skin is sought after for protective gloves and shields. On the lexicon, it says that Sweden maintains a dragon reservation. How cool is that? For the short snout specifically. It's located in the mountainous heart of the country, somewhere between a place I can't pronounce and another place I can't pronounce in the south. The reservation is also part of the path of an annual broom race that they hold over there, which is pretty cool. So
it's Kopperberg to Arjeplog.
Thank you. So since the short snout prefers uninhabited mountain areas, the lexicon kind of guessed where they are. So they think it's probably northwestern Sweden, since the western border of Sweden is Norway's eastern border, and Norway also supports a dragon species. Pretty cool. Pulling a Ravenclaw, Sarah would do something like that. And then other little fun facts from the wiki, which, take it with a grain of salt. In the Lego video game, the Swedish short snout is seen as one of the dragons caged by Hagrid. It will either attempt to incinerate the player by blasting its blue flames, or shoot fireballs at a small purple ring, which you have to levitate around the room. I don't know. I don't think I played that one.
We haven't gotten that far in the Lego video game. We really need to play that again.
You can also buy a plush of the Swedish short snout at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. However, it's not blue. It's like brown-gray.
Yeah. We have like a little tradition of buying a different plush every time we go, so maybe in August we'll have to get a dragon.
Because we're adults and we need them.
Yeah, future children.
And
they'll want it.
Lastly, in the film adaptation of Goblet of Fire, the Swedish short snout is yellow, not silvery blue.
Well, they do what they want.
Clearly.
Is it my turn? Can I talk now?
Yeah,
Kind of, but I gotta go back to the cloak.
I knew you were going to do that to me.
Why? How?
Because I know you.
Serious face. Okay,
I know you.
Do you? So during a Leaky Cauldron chat after Deathly Hallows came out, this I guess interviewer from them was asking Joe a bunch of questions, and she gave what I think is a not so great answer. I don't want to go against Our Lady, but so Angela Morrissey is interviewing her and asks, why is it that Albus Dumbledore can see Harry under his invisibility cloak at certain moments? For example, in Hagrid's hut, right? It says his eyes flicked that way. During the series, the cloak is only infallible to those who do not own Deathly Hallows. So Rowling says Dumbledore, who could perform magic without needing to say the incantation aloud, was using Hominum Revelio, the human presence revealing spell. Hermione makes use of it also in Deathly Hallows. But here's the thing. When Hermione uses it in Deathly Hallows, you can feel that spell being used. So, yeah. So I feel like her answer was kind of off the cuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I like it.
I mean, I still think that if you say you're in a house and it's just you and this other person that has the invisibility cloak on, the actual number one OG cloak, death, literally cut it, all that stuff. If you did it, I think it would be yeah, there's another person here. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
It just
Regardless
wouldn't
if they can feel
reveal
it or
where they
not.
are, and they still couldn't
Yeah.
see them. I think I could
Correct.
get behind that answer.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like Moody's eye is insanely magical, but as far as what I like know and think of the Hallows, like I don't think it's quite on level.
Do you think that maybe, do you remember in the Hunger Games, in the second book, when like it's first brought up when she's like in the training, she being Katniss, when she's in the training thing, and the guy told her there's like that shield, but you can't see it, and he goes, if you look a certain way and you kind of see like a glimmer, maybe it's something like that he can kind of see like with his magical eye a glimmer around it. I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws to think of different ways that he could possibly know someone's there. But I guess he'd still be able to like. So in that section where he sees him on the steps, it just says that they like look into each other's eyes. But like that doesn't mean he can actually look. He just might be
right. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It still bother. Like it just. I don't know. I'm gonna let it go for tonight. But
you're gonna have dreams about it tonight.
It's gonna haunt me.
Your dreams are gonna get real moody tonight.
Oh my god.
I just need to know. Because you guys know how I feel about my Hallows. Alright, I'm done. Sarah.
It's my turn.
Yeah, it's all about you now.
Harry was done.
And he was a Potter. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Harry and the Potter was done after hearing Charlie impersonate his mother. And, Hagrid really wouldn't have noticed Harry left without saying goodbye. And I said, we call this an Irish goodbye, just leaving.
Love it.
Because he was preoccupied with the dragons and Madame Maxime. Harry wasn't sure if he felt any better now that he knew what he was up against for the first task. He was deep in thought about it. Just him thinking about the task, just him, a 50-foot dragon that breathes fire. Sounds terrifying. Am I right? Or just, another day. Just another Wednesday. Or is it a Thursday, they said? Just another Thursday.
Just another manic Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Just a fire... No, another... Woo, words. Another fiery Friday.
Ooh. Turbulent Tuesday.
Oh my god.
Wacky
15
Wednesday.
minutes.
Sorry, I'm done.
He had 15 minutes to get back to the common room to talk to Sirius, but he was so preoccupied with his thoughts and how much he was looking forward to talking to Sirius that he literally ran right into something or someone. So he falls to the ground, his glasses are askew, and he's hoping that the cloak is still covering him, so he's clutching it. And the dude he ran right into, and I said in my other notes that he smack dab right into him or something, and I was gonna dab. But I'm too old for that now.
Oh God!
But it was
dab.
it was Karkaroff, and he recognized him because of his wicked stash.
Oh my God.
So Karkaroff looked around to see who's there, and he's like, "Who's there? Who's there?" And he even kind of crouched to see if it was not Barty, but just to see if it was an animal that he had run into. And he doesn't really see anything, obviously, because Harry's hiding under the possibly invisible to all, or maybe not to all, invisible cloak. So then he creeps into the woods towards the area that's filled with the dragons and the cool dudes who wrangle them. And I was like, you can't have a hot head when dealing with dragons. Keep cool, my friends. So basically, Karkaroff is a big, fat, cheater pumpkin eater, but in his defense, so is everyone else.
True.
Harry slowly gets to his feet, and he carefully, yet quickly, made his way back to the school and to the common room. So he gets back there, and it's empty, and he notices, he's like, smells normal. So Hermione didn't need to use any dung bombs to make sure everyone left. And then, Tiffany, did you read about the dung bombs? Because I don't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
So I'm not going to go into them again, because she just talked about it in this episode.
An hour ago.
I know. I don't know. My memory's been crazy lately. I think I need to get my thyroid levels checked. So
your hormones checked.
My thyroid. Harry notices the Cedric buttons on the table that the Creevy brothers tried to fix, and now they read, Potter really stinks. And then when he turns back towards the fire, he's shocked to see Sirius's face in it. And I wanted to read a little bit from the chapter because it made me chuckle. And I can't read with my lighting. And it says, if Harry hadn't seen Mr. Diggory do exactly this back in the Weasleys' kitchen, it would have scared him out of his wits. Instead, his face breaking into the first smile he had worn for days, he scrambled out of his chair, crouched down by the hearth, and said, Sirius, how are you doing? And then I figured I'd keep reading to show you guys what he looked like. He being Sirius. Obviously, we know that Harry looks like Harry. He's got a scar on his head, eyes like his mom. He's dead. So Sirius looked different from Harry's memory of him. When they had said goodbye, Sirius's face had been gaunt and sunken, surrounded by a quantity of long, black, matted hair. But the hair was short and clean now. Sirius's face was fuller, and he looked much younger, or much more like the only photograph Harry had of him, which had been taken at the Potter's wedding. And he's like, dude, let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you, Harry.
I was going to say that.
Let's talk about you, Harry. Let's talk about all the good things, mostly bad things that's happened to you in the past 2 weeks. Let's talk about you.
What? What is going on?
God, that was so
Have
good.
you never heard that song before? So
No,
when
it's
asked
funny.
how he is, Harry is almost going to say he's just fine, but then he kind of unloads all of the troubles that he's been had for the past couple of weeks. No one's believing him about putting his name in the goblet, Rita Skeeter and her lying article. Everywhere he went, people stared at him, and Ron, and all of the issues he's been having with him about him not believing and the jealousy issues. And then he's like, bro, my first task is dragons. And, I'm a goner. Ain't gonna live past that. Megan.
I just wanted to know, does anybody absolutely hate how Sirius looks in the movie at this part? Like how they did
Yeah,
the
it was
fire?
really stupid.
Hated it.
I hate how he
hated
comes out
it.
and he's like,
I know.
calm down.
Because, I always envisioned it was literally his head floating above the fire, not, his face in the embers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hated that. That's all.
I don't mind it the next time when it was kind of just his face in the flames and not the embers.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah, in Order of the
That one
Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, that didn't bother me nearly as much.
I agree. That was much better.
So he says, dragons, we can deal with that, Harry. But we'll get to that in a minute. I haven't got long here. I've broken into a wizarding house to use the fire, but they could be back at any time. There are things I need to warn you about. What? Said Harry. Karkaroff, said Sirius. Harry, he was a Death Eater. Ba-da-ba-ba, what? You know what Death Eaters are, don't you? They eat death, duh.
They eat Hallows for breakfast.
No,
Lunch and dinner.
clearly they're impenetrable, so you can't bite them.
Oh my god.
You can lick them.
It'd be like Incredibles 2 when Violet throws her super suit into the garbage disposal. It doesn't do anything.
So
Nothing
funny.
happens.
And then she gets even more angry.
Yeah.
So we learn that Karkaroff was a Death Eater in Azkaban with Sirius, but he got released, and Sirius thinks that that's maybe why Dumbledore hired Moody, because Moody was actually the one that put Karkaroff in Azkaban in the first place. And he was able to do basically a plea deal with the Ministry to get out. He gave up names of other Death Eaters, and we find out later, Severus was one of the ones he named, and all the other things ensued, and says, obviously, the guys, and I actually wrote, obviously, the dudes in Azkaban aren't happy with him. And I said, remember, snitches get stitches. And also, one, because you're, ratting out the people, and then if you ratted the ones out, and then they're now in prison, they're going to be even more angry at you. And now he's teaching defense against the dark arts to his students, so he better watch out. He, being Harry, should watch out for the Durmstrang champion, a.k.a. Krum. Watch out, bro. He might come to get you. Harry was like, well, did Karkaroff put my name in the goblet then? He was sure that he didn't, because Karkaroff was furious about the situation, unless he was a good actor. And then Sirius replies with, "Well, we know he's a good actor," said Sirius, "because he convinced the Ministry of Magic to set him free, didn't he? Now, I've been keeping an eye on the Daily Prophet, Harry." And he's like, "Yeah, you and the rest of the world," said Harry bitterly. And reading between the lines of that Skeeter woman's article last month, Moody was attacked the night before he started at Hogwarts. "Yes, I know," she said, "it was another false alarm," Sirius said hastily, seeing Harry was about to speak. "But I don't think so, somehow. I think someone tried to stop him from getting to Hogwarts. I think someone knew their job would be a lot more difficult with him around, and no one's going to look into it too closely. Mad Eye's heard intruders a bit too often. But that doesn't mean he can't still spot the real thing. Moody was the best aura of the Ministry ever had." And I was like, facts was serious. But I mean, he's not that far off.
You like that? Yeah, it's serious.
Facts. There's some serious facts going on right now.
Hashtag facts.
Yeah. But again, he's not, I mean, he's off a little bit, but not that off, you know? So Harry then asked Sirius if he's saying, like, "Are you saying that Karkaroff wants to kill me? But why?" And then Sirius hesitates, and I was like, that's very telling. So Sirius tells him he's been hearing a lot of strange things lately. The Death Eaters are more active. The whole Quidditch World Cup thing with the dark mark in the sky and everything. And then there's that Ministry which is still missing, and we know it's Bertha Jorkins. And she disappeared in Albania, which is where Voldemort was reported last. And she would have known like information about the Triwizard Tournament, so she could have been. And we know that she was a well of knowledge. A wealth of knowledge. Wealth of knowledge. Bees? So I'm bees. So we do know that. Yeah, like, he got her and then was like, "Whoa, you know a lot of information and we're going to use you, and then you're no useless, bye. Avada Kedavra. Bye."
Poor Bertha.
But, like, would she have walked right into Voldemort? I don't think so. Who knows? Mm-hmm.
This is about, like, Sirius hearing things. You know, remember when Lupin would, like, stake out stuff? You know what I mean? With, like, werewolves in their packs and all that jazz? Do you think, like, Sirius was doing like similar stuff? Do you think he was like hiding out around, because you know he likes the dangerous life? I think he was hiding out in some areas with some Death Eaters and stuff, and getting kind of like too close and having some close calls to get information, even though
I think that like being an animagus and being a dog, like, and he kind of seems looks wise stray like. So it's probably easy for him to, like, go and listen whilst being a dog, you know.
Yeah, but what if, like, a Death Eater, like, wants to give him some scritches? Right on the chin. Maybe some treats.
Think about, like, how often you yourself are having, like, a conversation whilst you're giving Foz a little scratch behind the ear. We don't know what Foz is doing. He might go tell his other friends. We don't know.
I'm his only friend.
I love him.
He's my boy, and I don't share. No.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
A quality pooch?
Oh, 100%.
Calling deployment. Mobile.
I don't even know what that is. I wasn't talking to you.
That's from when we worked at Disney World.
Oh my god.
Call Disney World. Hello, Disney World. Can I order a genie?
I bet you. No? Because right now, the Death Eaters don't know about his animagus form. 2, I think that he is in correspondence with Dumbledore. And, you know, good old Dumbledore. We know he doesn't care about, you know, people's lives or anything. So, of course, he asked Sirius to go out and get information for him. Because, you know, that's what Dumbledore does.
Yeah, but, like, Sirius is very much the type of guy.
Sirius alive, you know?
Well, that's so, like, he's not afraid to go and do.
Right.
He, obviously, we're going to see later on, when he's not doing something, like, he just wants to kill everybody, essentially.
When he has no mission, when he's pent up, said don't do anything, that's when he makes terrible choices. True. Also.
But think that's like a dog.
Well, yeah. True.
I mean, it's, you know, they don't get enough action. activity, like
Exercise.
working, like exercise, all that stuff, they get all cooped up and go crazy.
But here's also the thing. This is war. And war,
Whoa.
people have to make sacrifices, and people have to be brave and stand up, and they have to do things that are dangerous. Otherwise, nothing will get done. The battle will take over. And Sirius he's a soldier. He's out there.
Well, and two, he truly knows what can happen in war. Like, he's lost his best friends. He's lost everything, And until recently, like, he just got Remus back as a friend. Before that, he had nothing.
Yeah. Sorry, I just read Mac's comment. Tiff in the cloak equals the same as Megan and McGonagall's points.
Oh my god.
Truth.
True is true.
So Sirius goes, "Listen, I knew Bertha Jorkins," said Sirius grimly. Which is funny because he kind of looks like a Grim. "She was at Hogwarts when I was there, a few years above your dad and me. She was an idiot. Very, very nosy, but no brains. Not at all. It's not a good combination, Harry. I'd say she'd be very easy to lure into a trap." So, basically, with all this information, it could be Karkaroff, who is behind him being in the tournament, and really Voldemort being behind Karkaroff doing in the tournament. You know what I mean? And Harry, Sirius says, "I just don't know. Karkaroff doesn't strike me as the type who'd go back to Voldemort unless he knew Voldemort was powerful enough to protect him." Which I agree. Karkaroff seems cowardly to me. He would not be a Gryffindor.
Seems like a Pettigrew in this kind of situation.
For sure. But whoever put your name in the goblet did it for a reason, and I can't help thinking the tournament would be a very good way to attack you and make it look like an accident. And again, he's not wrong. That's pretty much exactly the plan. It's a decent plan for a bad guy, and all they really need to do is let the dragon do the work in the first task, because the way that Harry sees it, he won't be coming out of the task at least maimed or alive. He's gonna be dead. So Sirius is about to give... Who sneezed?
I did, I'm sorry.
Who did interrupt me?
Oh my gosh.
Sirius is about to give Harry great advice on how to win against the dragon by himself, but he's interrupted because Harry... God bless you. Stop sneezing! Sorry.
Bless you, but shut up!
Don't you interrupt me! So he hears footsteps. Bloop, 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 bloop. That's not what footsteps sound like in my head, I promise.
That's a Star Wars gun.
That's more like pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew. So he hears footsteps on the staircase, but he tells Sirius to go. And so, like, Harry pops up, and then Sirius pops away. So Harry watches the staircase to see who dare interrupted his conversation. And it was Ron, his best friend he loves so much, who he's not fighting with. And I figured I'm going to read their interaction because I didn't feel like summarizing it. So it was Ron, dressed in his maroon paisley pajamas. Ron stopped dead, facing Harry across the room, and looked around. "Who are you talking to?" he said. "What's that got to do with you?" Harry snarled. "What are you doing down here at this time of night?" "I was just wondering where you..." Ron broke off, shrugging. "Nothing, I'm going back to bed." Dude, he cares about you, and he was probably wondering where you were and was a little worried because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning and you weren't in your bed.
True that.
Like, that's real cute.
Yeah. "I just thought you'd come nosing around, didn't you?" Harry shouted. He knew that Ron had no idea what he'd walk in on, knew he hadn't done it on purpose, but he didn't care. At this moment, he hated everything about Ron, right down to the several inches of bare ankle showing beneath his pajama trousers. Sadness. Yes, Megan.
So for a lot of this fight, I've been defensive for Harry, but in this moment, I just want to smack him.
Yeah, he's not very nice. I mean, no. But like he just said, it's not Ron's fault. He's just had all this pent-up anger towards him because neither one of them are being grown-ups, which again, they're only 14 anyways, to sit down and have a conversation that they need to have. And like pointing out too that Ron like hit several inches of bare ankle because his pajamas are probably really old.
Poor Ron.
And like I bet you like had he known that it was Ron, he probably wouldn't have cared. Like he probably wouldn't have made Sirius leave. I don't know. That's just me. Because he didn't know who was coming down the stairs.
I just wish I could take Ron to Target and buy him some new pajamas.
Oh my god.
I mean, he's got money now. He owns a joke shop.
True.
And his wife's Minister of Magic.
True.
Yes. I was like, what?
Also,
Sorry,
Mom.
Yeah, Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Give me the Coke.
Sorry about that, Ron said, his face reddening with anger. Should have realized you didn't want to be disturbed. I'll let you get on with practicing for your next interview in peace. And then Harry seized one of the Potter really stink badges off the table and chucked it as hard as he could across the room, and it hit Ron on the forehead and bounced off. There you go, said Harry. Something for you to wear on Tuesday. You might even have a scar now, if you're lucky. That's what you want, isn't it? He strode across the room towards the stairs. He half expected Ron to stop him. He would have even liked it had Ron... Wow, cannot talk. He would have even have liked Ron to throw a punch at him, but Ron just stood there in his 2 small pajamas, and Harry, having stormed upstairs, lay awake in bed, fuming for a long time afterwards, and didn't hear him come up to bed. And I was like, ooh, he's getting angsty. But, like, I bet you... Not that I want them to fight, but you know that he has a lot of pent-up aggression from, like, this past couple of weeks. He's had a horrible time. He's fighting with his friends. People are being not nice to him at all. Everyone hates him, basically. And then, like, the only conversation he got to have, like, with his confidant is interrupted. And even he's, like, getting annoyed with Hermione. Like, he needs an outlet for his aggression. So, like, had they had a fight, they probably would have felt better afterwards.
Yeah.
Not saying that's not a solution to problems, but...
That was Harry's solution to the problem in that moment.
I wish I could see that.
And used his diaper and then threw it at my mom and it hit her in the forehead because she didn't duck in time. It was pretty funny. We had a good laugh about it. Anywhoosies, I'm going to talk about the Chinese fireball. Ooh.
You said Chinese firebolt.
I said that earlier. I literally typed it. And then I was like, it's the Chinese fireball.
God.
Fireball in the sky.
You know what's funny? I literally sang that as I typed in fireball. And then I was like, it's a fireball. But I was like, firebolt. What was the other one I sang? Like, here is the handle, here is the jail. I said, my tongue is right there.
Yep, that was it.
Oh, I should not sing ever.
I like it.
So Chinese fireball. And it's also sometimes known as lion dragon, because it's lying around about being a dragon.
Oh my god.
The only Oriental dragon has a particularly striking appearance. Scarlet and smooth-scaled, it has a fringe of golden spikes around its snub-snouted face, and extremely protuberant eyes. Is that how you pronounce that word? Don't laugh at me, I can't read. The fireball gained its name for its mushroom-shaped flame that bursts from its nostrils when it is angered. I mean, I know how that feels. I'm just kidding. It weighs between 2 and 4 tons.
Jeez.
The female is larger than the male. Eggs are a vivid crimson speckled with gold, and the shells are much prized for use in Chinese wizardry. The fireball is aggressive, but more tolerant of its own species than most dragons, sometimes consenting to share its territory with up to 2 others. The fireball will feast on most mammals, though it prefers pigs and humans. I have a theory about pigs and humans, but I won't share it with you. And then it also says in the corner, the fireball gained its name for the mushroom. Oh, we already knew that.
Why?
Why
did you say that?
Because I've told you my theory. That's what I think of. So, on the Pottermore, obviously it's a brilliant red and gold dragon named for the flame it shoots from its nose.
I just don't understand. I have a theory about pigs and humans.
No, because it's kind of really gross.
I know what you're talking. No.
Okay.
Why even?
People are gonna be like, "What was her theory?" I just said it. I say things that are on my mind.
good. We'll keep them guessing.
Okay. So we
I'm
know
gonna try and stop laughing,
I can't stand you.
but I can't see.
We know it's aggressive towards humans, obviously, because it likes to eat them, and the piggy pigs. There's even a feature, and it says Dragons of the Wizarding World, and it says Victor Crumb took on this vicious dragon at the Triwizard Tournament. And then there's Dan Munford's interpretation of a Chinese fireball. And I don't know if it's like a GIF is what I call them, but it's like a moving picture, so it's pretty cool that you can look at it, and it's breathing fire out of its nostrils. It does look pretty scary. And then the other day I saw, just because I thought this was cool, and I will copy and paste it into our doc, that they had like the Wizarding World bookograph. One of the books was Dragon Breeding for Pleasure and Profit, and it says, Hagrid certainly did his homework when he picked up a dragon egg knot, but ish. However, this book clearly didn't teach that hatching a dragon in a wooden house could be counterproductive. And it says, look, I've been doing some reading, Hagrid said, and then he was telling, this is from the first book. It goes on, there's a bunch of other books on here which I just thought were cool. Like, there's a Chudley Cannon book, Charms for Cheese or something like that.
Charm your cheese.
Charm your own cheese. Fromage. Ooh. I just added the fromage part. But I thought that was really cool that it had, like, books. There's, like, an oracle book and, like, death omens.
Yeah.
One says, like, tricks or tricky, sleep, sorts, saucy sorts. I can't read. What is wrong with me? But anyways, that's my section. I just thought it was really cool. Dragons. Am I right? Or am I right?
You're right.
And then there's pretty much that's really the only information we have. On the lexicon, it says this dragon has a ride named after it at the Wizarding World. Is that true? They got rid of the Dueling Dragons.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
That's where the Hagrid's motorbike ride's going.
Correct. Lightning bolt.
Who's your favorite dragon?
Do I have
Puff.
to pick those 4? Or?
Yeah, out of those 4, what would be your
Did
favorite?
no one hear me?
Oh, Puff.
What a pity laugh, Katie. I like mine. The Hungarian Horntail.
I really like the Hungarian Horntail as well.
Because it's super mean.
Yeah.
I think I like the Welsh Green and the Short Snout.
I like the Welsh Green because it doesn't kill humans.
Yeah.
Is it vegan?
Maybe. No, it eats sheep.
No, none of them are vegan. If they were vegan, they would get sick.
Joke.
All right, I got a couple good ones.
All right, give it to me.
If the trio is peanut butter and jelly.
Oh. Wait, hold on. How would they all be peanut butter and jelly?
Hold on. Who is who? One would be bread, one would be peanut butter, and one would be jelly.
I got this.
I got it.
I got it too.
Who's
going first?
You owe me 2 Cokes.
Katie! No!
Yeah, Katie first.
All right.
Why?
Because I called it first. So
It's my birthday.
okay, fine, go ahead.
Oh! No, I'm not kidding, but you can go.
So we already established that. Oh wait, they'd be peanut butter and peanut butter. All right, I'm gonna change this. The Weasley would be the bread because you've got Harry and Hermione, which I think Harry would be peanut butter and Hermione would be jelly. But Ron is absolutely the bread because
No, I veto.
he is Harry's
Just
best
listen.
friend. He's Hermione's husband, and he holds them all together.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hard pass.
I didn't
Hard-
ask for your
hard
peppers and
pass.
opinions. I just gave mine. All
Hard
right.
pass.
Well, here's my pepper. All right, Ron is the jelly, Harry's the peanut butter, and Hermione's the bread.
Yep. That was mine. Yeah.
Oh, really? I see it differently, but why do you say that, you two?
Well, because Ron is jelly, because literally he's jelly.
Oh.
Harry is he's the
meat.
he's the toughness of the sandwich. So he's the protein peanut butter. And Hermione is the one that keeps them all together and keeps them on track. So she's the bread.
You guys are right.
Yeah, mine's pretty much the same as Tiffany's. Like, Ron is the jelly because I feel like the Weasleys are the jelly. Like, look at Ginny, look at Ron, look at, like, they're just the jelly. Plus, they've got red hair, so they'd be strawberry jelly. You know, it matches.
Oh, yeah,
Then,
taking on the jelly.
Harry is the peanut butter because he's literally like the rock of the trio. And peanut butter could be like a rock in your stomach, you know,
What
if
kind
you
of
eat a lot
peanut
of it.
butter are you eating?
Could be. And then Hermione holds them in place, and together, she's the bread.
You know, I feel like, I mean, I really like the way that you two have talked about it, but I feel like Harry's the bread, Ron is the jelly, and Hermione's the peanut butter.
Why is Hermione
that
peanut
way-
butter?
Well, because she goes well with Ron and the jelly. And she goes great with Harry and the bread. And together, the jelly and the peanut butter can be together on their own without the bread. And they could be in that jar and you just eat them together and they're delicious.
Goober!
And they're together, they're making little peanut butter and jelly babies.
So here's my question.
And
kinda like
sometimes,
that,
you know,
Sarah.
if you're gluten-free or if you're trying to be on a low-carb diet, you don't need the bread. Eat a spoonful of jelly and peanut butter, Ron and Hermione.
Poor Harry.
love ya.
I have a
Yeah.
question. Are we cutting the crust off of this, or is
No.
No,
What?
because
I
well,
have another
so if we
question,
go
though.
by
Just
if
rough
we go
around
by
the edges?
Sarah's, Harry can be a little crusty sometimes.
True. True.
Oh, that's such a oh, you crusty.
So we always tell our roommate that he's crabby all the time, and he was getting so mad that we would say crabby, so we started coming up with other words that meant crabby.
Like cantankerous.
Cantankerous and crusty are two of our favorites that we
Prickly.
use, and prickly, yeah. So Harry can be a little crusty. He can be a little
Oh my
crabby.
God.
He's got a
There are
hard
things
outer
I never
shell
wanna hear.
sometimes.
I have another question though, and Steffi also said the same thing. How would you cut your sandwich? We're all keeping the
Diagonally.
crust on, correct?
Triangles.
Yeah.
You cut it in
Not
triangles?
triangles. Not triangles. Like a diagonal cut down
Diagonal.
the middle. Two
Oh, I
So
get
it's
what
a
you're
right triangle,
Yeah.
or two right triangles?
I like
90
cutting it
degrees.
in half. Like directly in half.
See, I like the corner.
No.
No, you're wrong.
I agree. Do you guys think that like when you have a sandwich and you cut it diagonally, that it just tastes better?
Yes.
Like
With
it's
those
so
middles.
good. And then you do you got like the first bite, you could take one of those like sharp corners.
That's what I
Yeah.
love. Same with grilled
Yeah.
cheese.
Yes.
Okay.
I just feel like the sharp corners sometimes you don't get a good ratio of stuff, and if you cut it down the middle, you get a
Oh.
good ratio all the
The
way
ratio.
throughout.
No, you.
I don't
gotta
know what kind of
slowly-
sandwich you're making.
Yeah.
I cover the whole piece of bread.
I'm gonna need us to move on.
You're the one that talked for 45 hours about eyes and cloaks and being able to see things.
Okay, but
We're
can we
talking
talk
about
about
real
McGonagall and how
issues.
ridiculous she is with points?
All right. Next lightning bolt round question.
Are there any? Can we be
Yeah.
Am
done?
I peanut butter or am I jelly? Or crusty bread?
Crusty
You're
bread.
peanut butter.
Oh, really?
You're
think
the,
so.
You're the occasional marshmallow fluff.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, next
Gosh.
lightning
So
bolt
loving.
question. Ron stayed in the common room after that fight. Do you think he was starting to regret not believing Harry?
Confirmed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think in that moment he was starting to regret like their fight, and he just wanted it to be over.
I think had Harry not been so sassy with him, there
Mhm.
may have been some kind of breakthrough that night.
I think so too.
Ooh, sassy Harry.
Sure.
It's a preview, man. It's a preview.
Harry, you're sassy. Okay. Lightning bolt. Is it possible to have a wand with a core that doesn't come from a creature? I'm still stuck on the vegan thing from before.
I would think that, so
Well-
we know that Fleur has Vila hair that's from her grandmother. I don't think she, went and plucked a hair out of her grandmother's head. Her grandmother probably gave it willingly. And Vilas are, I don't think they're creatures, right? They're
What
not
if
in the
you-
book.
Yeah,
Like, they're
well,
They're not in the book.
what if
Yeah.
you did like a magical plant?
Here's the
But would
thing.
they work as well?
I
don't know,
think
just
that
saying.
so like
Not
I understand
living
the
Well,
vegan thing, but if a creature willingly gives something to be used,
Flesh of the servant.
like I
willingly
feel like
given.
that's okay.
I was thinking that.
I mean, but how does a creature, how would a unicorn willingly give hair.
It
Like, I
drops
don't
it.
think they
I feel like
would.
it just falls out.
Yeah,
But I
like, you
don't-
could find them, because remember, like, Hagrid would see unicorn hairs in the forest, and that's how he knew that they were close.
Didn't Slughorn, like, talk about getting unicorn hairs or something?
But, like, is that something like, okay, so normally in a person, your hair falls out, like, like however many hairs every day it's supposed to fall out. I think it's like roughly 150. Don't quote me. But when you're sick or like you have issues going on, health issues, like you're
Postpartum.
gonna lose more hair or it'll break off. Like it's not normal for hair to break unless you are sick or like deficient in vitamins, all this stuff. So like I would think that like if all of a sudden a unicorn you really see a lot of hair, that Tiffany's so over me talking.
I'm just
That like maybe it's like as effective when you're picking up hairs from the ground.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Maybe.
saying. No, I understand. It's like not healthy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like I don't
Doesn't
know.
have the full magical properties. I feel that.
I
And I
think
think
that
about
the
that, too,
wizarding
with-
world is not very vegan-friendly, so
Correct.
there's that.
I mean, I bet you like most of the wizarding world isn't super vegan friendly.
Yeah, I agree. Like, dragon hide gloves.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I don't know.
I bet there's. I mean,
Well,
that
and
is
two,
just to say. I bet there's like farms,
Mm-hmm.
dragon
I know.
farms, unicorn farms.
Yeah.
well, and even think of like how they used to play Quidditch with like the whole snitch, like
Yep.
the bird, and like all of that stuff. And then
Digit,
it took
was
time.
it that?
Snitch,
Snidget.
yeah. And now they use like a fake one, but it took them a
Yeah.
long time. And like, what are the quaffles made out of? What are the bludgers made out of? Like, you know, the reason they call footballs in America pigskin because they used to be made out of pigskin.
Right?
I don't think they are now.
Mm-mm,
So.
I don't know. They might be. That was a good conversation. I think basically what we concluded is that the wizarding world's not vegan friendly. And there's probably not really something. Like, I would be okay with probably a phoenix feather one, because, like I said, it seems like Fox willingly gave feathers.
Feathers of the bird, willingly given.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't, because even if you think about, like, the ones in America, there's hair from the
Rougarou.
something else from, like, a swamp monster or something. Oh, no, that's a wood. I don't know.
You're a swamp monster.
Thunderbird
My other,
feathers.
Do you think though? What I'm trying to think is like if you're plucking like a hair or feather, like you know when you have your phone plugged in, or like in my case, like whenever my computer's plugged in, it shines a little brighter, and then I'll unplug it after it's done charging and it dims a little. That's what I think of like plucking a hair. I don't know if that's true. Is that why like unicorn hairs don't last as long because the magic has gone out of them? Like it's, you know, like,
Maybe,
like its
yeah.
energy is depleted. I don't know. These are just
Maybe.
things I think of. These are things. These are thoughts that keep me up at night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to Lauren's story.
All right.
And story.
This week, we have a fan story from Lauren O'Grady. So she says, growing up as a child, I was a huge reader. I went through book after book after book and was always looking for more to read. I remember hearing about these Harry Potter books and not really being interested in starting them, as I was very caught up in...
I was very caught in my current book list.
Thank you. When I was in grade 3, I had a brilliant teacher. I remember you ladies speaking about having that one specific teacher who changes your world. This was mine. Who saw my love for reading and continually encouraged it. One day she announced that we would be reading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone chapter by chapter at the end of every day. Did she rip us off? Excuse me. I remember going to sit down on the reading carpet and my teacher placed herself in a wooden rocking chair. I prepared myself for these hyped up books that I had heard so much about. Needless to say, I fell in love. I remember listening to my teacher read the one chapter out loud to us, and I think by the end of that chapter I was sitting beside her, my face practically glued to the pages of the book. I raced home to tell my parents how much I needed the first book, and they were kind enough to drive me to my cousins who not only had book 1, but had 2 and 3. I finished all 3 of those books in record time, and then got on the pre-order list for Goblet of Fire. My biggest accomplishment was hearing that Harry Potter was going to be turned into a movie, and myself and the teacher who exposed me to this amazing world organized a school trip for all the kids to go see the movie together.
Oh, that's awesome.
I grew up with Harry Potter and it has never left my life. I remember finding the online world of Potter in fanfics and then being able to pre-order the books and attend all the movies. Those moments had me burst inside with love and happiness from this world that Joe has created for us. I finally just caught up to your podcast. I have been listening to it at work, and I am both sad and happy to be joining in week by week on the rereads now. I feel like I know you four girls personally. I laugh along with you and gasp when you make connections. My house is Ravenclaw. Sarah, can I get a what?
What?
My Patronus is a Mastiff.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
My wand is Furwood and Unicorn Hair, 11 inches with unyielding flexibility. Thank you so much for everything you do, and I am so excited to read Goblet alongside you and to freak out over the crimes of Grindelwald.
Woohoo!
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you, Lauren.
That's awesome.
That's a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Shout out to teachers.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, you can find us on all the different social media channels. We're on Facebook, Swish and Flick Podcast, and on Twitter and Instagram at SwishFlickcast. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and also join us on Patreon for exclusive access to the Felix Files, which is our bi-monthly bonus episodes. You can be a guest on the Felix Files. You can join us for a live chat monthly on Zoom and more. So if you want to learn more about that, you can head on over to patreon.com/SwishFlickcast and choose your support level.
Do it.
Thank you to all of our current patrons, to all of our patrons right now who are following along on Discord. Shout out to you.
Woo!
Thank you. And then lastly, make sure that you check out our website, swishflickcast.com, to get all of the info on us in one place, along with all of our merch.
Merch.
Go, Tiff, go. What's up with you? Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I actually have something to plug.
Ooh.
Tiffany's
Going
going to Florida in August.
I am. I'm going to Florida. Woo!
On a scale of
No,
1
I'm really
to 10,
excited
how
to-
excited are you about Florida?
11.
You're supposed
You're
to
not
say
like
9
9
3/4.
But that's not to the extreme.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it would be an 11 if I was going. So
It'd be a 15 if you were going.
yeah.
So super excited about that. I have 24 school days left. Moving along.
Katie and I are daily vloggers now, and it's been going well, and we've been going solid for over a week.
Yeah.
Way to go.
It's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
So
We
you
are-
can follow us on YouTube at the Petrus Family. We put out a vlog every day, and then every Tuesday we put out a trip vlog. Still, it's called Catch Up Tuesday because I didn't want to just stop putting out trip vlogs because I want you guys to see everything from our UK trip. So every Tuesday one of those comes out, and then every day you get a glimpse of our day before. So
Cool.
And if you need anything designed for you, go check out Whimsy Creative Design. We do anything and everything you think of. So hit us up.
Anything?
Pretty much.
anything you can do, I can do better. Hashtag Slytherin.
So a little backstory. It is the 17th of April, last Friday. The teaser trailer and the name for the final Star Wars movie came out, and to say that Tiffany and I were excited is very much an understatement. And so she was like, I need a podcast about it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, let's do it. We'll figure out, maybe we can put it on Podbean or something. We'll just come home because I watch Alana on Fridays. I'm like, we'll record something because I too, I want to sit down and talk about it.
Right.
And then by the end of the day, and when I say end of the day, I mean Tiffany's end of school day, her coming home, BB-8 Radio's back.
BB-8 Radio is back in full
It's
effect.
back. It's better than ever. So, I mean, I think I can say for Tiffany and myself, and my sister will still be on it, that we needed an outlet to discuss Star Wars, and now we have it fully. The last time when I started it, I started it kind of as a joke, and then my sister was actually kind of into it, and then Tiffany was on other things and about to have a baby, and now she's had the baby and is no longer on the other things, and so now we're gonna do BB-8 Radio. Legitimately, we recorded an episode. We now have intro and outro music thanks to Katie's brother, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Where can you find him?
He's on SoundCloud. God, it's like some weird name, like Hub or something. Hut, yeah. We'll post the link in. Sorry, bro, it's weird, but we'll post the link in the description if you want to check him out. He does really cool stuff.
He did our Felix Files intro, and now also BB-8 Radio's intro and outro. Yeah. So
it's sick.
I don't know if he listens to us because he's not a Potterhead.
I don't think that he's like not a Potterhead. He's just like
he's not like me,
as big of a Potterhead as we are.
Yeah.
But if you need anything, if you're starting your own project or whatever, you need some tunes, we'll post it. Hit him up. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Super easy to work with.
I mean, I'm excited for this new adventure.
So what we need to tell everybody, though, is it's kind of like a learning adventure. So Sarah and I are diving in to learn all that we can. We don't know everything. We're going to, make mistakes, whatever.
We basically said that we know if 10%, if not less. So, like, my sister's really big into reading. So, like, she's already starting to read some more Star Wars books. Tiffany and I are starting to read more books. Tiffany got... what is the whole thing called? Because it's Caravan of Courage and then something on Endor, right? Or is it Ewok? Was it Battle of Endor or something?
I don't know.
So she bought some movies that we're going to watch. We're going to go through all the movies. We're going to talk about the books. We're going to... what I'm really excited about, and I said this on the first episode, which will be coming out shortly, is that what we do with Harry Potter now with like the Crimes of Grindelwald and the other Fantastic Beasts movies is all the speculation. And so we get to do this with the new movie that's coming out, and it's The Rise of Skywalker. So we've had some thoughts. We recorded our reactions to it. We're going to get my sister's reactions the next couple of days. And I'm excited. I'm really excited because I enjoy Star Wars, and now I feel like BB-8 deserves to be on my leg a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I still want to get him removed.
It's not going to be weekly.
No. Probably bi-monthly, maybe.
Bi-monthly. And it's not going to be like Swish and Flick. Because, frankly, we don't have the time.
Yeah, no. We're just going to sit down and talk.
Yeah. It's a for fun. We're not going through stuff like detailed chapter, whatever.
No, I literally don't have time for that. So
it's a fun time. It's a learning experience. It's just for fun. It's not for profit. We're not doing a Patreon. Like, it's just two dorks.
Well, three if you count Bridget. She's
True.
there too.
Bridget too.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to talk about Star Wars. I'll feel less of a fraud.
Correct.
So. But yeah, come listen, BB-8 Radio. We have an Instagram and Twitter. If you like Swish's Twitter, you'll like BB-8's because Tiffany basically runs both.
I'm also personally on Twitter at TiffSwish_Flick, so you can follow me there too. All right.
I just have an Instagram. But yeah.
Oh yeah, follow Katie and mine's new Instagram, the Petrus Family.
Yeah. Twitter as well.
And Twitter.
And then go follow BB-8. BB-8 Radio.
BB-8 Radio.
Also, we'll be on Podbean and all that other stuff.
And
all those other things.
One final happy birthday to Tiff the Griff.
Thank you.
And also happy belated birthday to Sarah, because I don't think we said it on the last episode, but her birthday was last week.
For true.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy birthday, pretty little thing.
Thanks.
When's Florence's birthday?
Yeah.
Same as Voldemort's.
Oh my god.
Is that all for the greater good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for Voldemort and
this
Valor.
episode is literally almost 3 hours long. So.
Yeah, I have to go. That concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just my voice!
Also, whose window's open while we're paused here? Because I hear all your...
I'll close the window, hold on.
Yeah, we'll close it. It's just so nice out.
Birds, why so loud?
I don't know.
We're not recording this Friday, correct?
No, they have things to do.
We have an adult Easter egg hunt to go to. I'm sorry, we might win a kayak. Never know.
Would you actually use a kayak?
Maybe.
Have you ever been in a kayak?
Yes, once.
What? And Sarah just fell down a hole. Podcast is over. What was that?
Can anybody
This
hear
is-
how adorable our cat is right now? He keeps meowing.